Are you tired of the same old pro wrestling? Then check out the amazing action on Powerslam.tv, the biggest indie pro wrestling channel in the world. Get over 4,000 hours of the best pro wrestling events from over 110 of the biggest names in the industry from over 15 countries around the globe. Get your free trial today at Powerslam.tv.
This is Jordan Grace, and you're listening to the Social Suplex Podcast Network.
BWB, this is One Nation Radio. You better get it right. Rich Latta, James Boyd came to give them life. The Blackest Wrestling Podcast has come to kick all ass and drop it 6 feet if they're kicking trash. Word, let me welcome y'all to something different. And if you dig it, man, you should let some friends listen. We be getting it in, that's on the regular, dude. Ravish and flow, but this shit rule. See, James don't rap, so I had to break it down. The whole network, man, we coming for the crown. Raps in the columns, I keep them both covered. Making the beats too, so the listeners can bump it. Hit us with the rating, yeah, I'm saying it's a 5. Before you hit it, talk, bob your head side to side. It's One Nation Radio, and this is the beginning. It's Rich, and I'm here with James. It's time to listen to One Nation.
You got to unleash the power of the pyramid.
This is Mike Sempervive from WrestlingObserver.com. Check me out on Wrestling Observer Live every day. And also check out your boys, Rich and James, on One Nation Radio.
Hi, this is Kenny Omega. We're listening to One Nation Radio. Check it out, guys. These guys know what's up. Big Kenny Omega fans, and that's all that counts to me. Goodbye and good night. Bang.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to One Nation Radio. I'm James Boyd, and with me I have Rich Latta. What's going on, man?
Not much, man. I totally blanked last week and forgot that we missed an amazing moment in the culture.
Yeah, I missed it too. It was one of those things where it's like I blank out because I just like don't care about like the initial backlash because I think it's stupid. So it's like y'all are all wrong. Y'all are hating, so I don't care. But yeah, we get into it now, I guess.
It's all right about it. Megan Thee Stallion and Cardi B dropped that file called WAP.
Yep.
I remember when I heard the title, I only guessed to myself what the title would be. I didn't tell anybody, and it turned out to be exactly what it stood for, what I guessed. I was like, So I heard the song before I saw the video. Mm-hmm. So I grew up, like, my mom was playing this type of house music that this was sampled from. Like, there's some hoes in this house. Like, I've heard that since I was a child. So I'm like, okay.
Yeah, like, they played that on, like Lil Jon and Eastside Boys, like, early 2000, like, albums cuts too. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So I heard that. I was like, oh, okay. It sounded that. I was like, kind of sounds like a Millie a little bit, but like less bass. So, I listened to it on my phone and it was like 7 a.m. I was like, I was like, that song nasty as fuck, but it's sliding.
Yeah.
So move on with my day. And I'm like, oh, the video's out. So, I believe Alex had already seen the video and was telling me this was like, you know, the second coming. This was it, you know. And
but you know, Alex quick to shoot you a unit of hyperbole. You know that though,
right? But I knew he wasn't playing because it was Cardi. Like, and he had to acknowledge, you know, what was going on here. This momentous occasion. You know, I imagine this is what the streets felt like when Jay-Z and Biggie were doing songs together in like 1996. This is like a similar vibe that I'm getting out of this.
For context, Alex is my cousin. He is a huge mark, if you will, for Kanye. Well, actually, he's a Kanye stan, and then like he's also he's more of a mark for Nicki Minaj. So just for listeners at home to be like, why would he? Because he is such a Nicki Minaj fan. He kind of like not really embraces Cardi the way that like a normal person that listens to rap over the last like 3 years would.
Look, y'all know how wrestling works, how people be acting.
Picking favorites.
You know, it's the same shit.
Stan culture is toxic. Continue.
So I see the video and I'm like, boy, I love it. I love every second of this. I love like the vulgarity. I love the dancing. I love the colors. I love the beat. I love the flow. I love the rapping that Megan Thee Stallion's doing on there. I'm a Megan Thee Stallion mark, I would say. And you know, I didn't understand what all the fuss was, but it sounded like a bunch of people that all of a sudden became holier than thou because these women wanted to rap about their pussy. Like, I don't understand. Like, you know, and it's not like a case like, it's not like your fourth album, like where it ain't been like no progression or anything like that. That's not even the angle people coming at it from. They're just like appalled that they would do this. And I'm like, are you fucking serious? Like, think about the shit in rap that has gone on for years and years and years and years. But this is the one we gotta make sure to put a stop to this. Come on, man. This song is excellent. I only regret that I cannot be out somewhere enjoying and seeing the reaction that goes on while the young ladies hear this music. I would love to see the reaction on the crowd, how it sounds in a club environment. But unfortunately, you know, I'm not about to do that.
Yeah, me neither. I have not seen the video. I've only heard the song.
What?
I've only heard the video. I only heard the song maybe twice. You know, I don't really care about that. Like, even when Beyonce comes out with those visual albums or whatever else, I'm just like, I don't care. I want the music. Like, I can't take your music video on the road. Like,
sure you can.
I just don't. On the road, imagine me driving. Imagine me driving on I-275 with the video up. Yeah, no, thank you. I'm just saying, it's me. I just haven't seen it yet. I guess I'll get around to it someday. Whatever.
I will send you the link. Look, everyone that's listening to this, look, I know how to YouTube. Look, everyone send James this link on Twitter. Tag him.
Why are you acting like this? Like, is that important? Is that important? Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
It is.
Anyway, I've heard the song twice. I like the song. I'm with you on just people are clutching their pearls. And I think a lot of that comes down to the double standard there is, especially when it comes down to what people expect out of men versus what they expect out of women as far as vulgarity and being quote unquote ladylike and the bullshit that is that women have to hold themselves to the standard of innocence that is not existent in the shit we like put on women to where they cannot like, you know, have all the spectrum of life that dudes have. So like,
but I don't understand this. Like, this is the brand. Like, this is Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion. What did you think the song was going to be about?
I mean, I don't know. I never thought about what a song between them would be, but the idea that people would lose their minds because of this song is like, nah, bro. Like, you're clearly telling on yourself. Like, there's no way. There is no way that you have listened to rap for real for your whole life or whatever, and this is the song that you just like, nah, this is too much. Nah. Basically what this comes down to is you think these women are behaving unwomanly, right? And you also don't like to talk about women's what's the word? Anatomy. So, and that's really what's problem is like these women are owning their bodies and talking nasty and you can't handle it. I'm sorry.
Look, the song is for you. Like, the song is for you. Like, everyone that thing is not for them. It's for you.
Yeah.
To enjoy the reaction. Like, come on, man. Like, it's like, so like, it's like a play is being run right here, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, the song comes out, you watch them react, and then you know, like my man Hawkman used to do, you swoop down. Like, that's all you, that's all you gotta do. This is easy.
All right,
it's not for you, man. This song's not, look, it's for you, but it's not for you. It's for you. Come on, man. I'm gonna have to put these folks up on some game, but
yeah. I'm trying to think what else since we already talking about it. I mean, I got around to watching the 2 Chainz and Ross. I actually forget that. We'll go to that later. Yeah, originally we were talking about this, while we were trying to put together the show, and the conversation has been brought up on a lot over the last, like, month or so about Drake and, you know, his future. Or was Russ talking? I think you said it was Russ talking to Steve Stout, and Stout bringing it to Breakfast Club, and Joe Budden talked about the idea of Drake potentially going independent. And, you know, was it this Friday, or was it also the same week as WAP? I think it was this Friday, right?
Yeah, it was last week.
Oh, it was last week? Okay, so...
Or it was a couple of days ago his new song came out.
Yeah, Laugh Now, Cry Later came out, had a song with Dirk on it, video with
Kevin Durant, Odell
Beckham, Marshawn Lynch, yeah, he's playing baseball, but apparently there's no, like, baseball players from Nike. Like, I guess he couldn't get Mike Trout or something, I don't know. Or, I'm not doing that. Like, I don't even listen to Drake.
Who is Drake?
Right. You'd be like, no, who are you, nigga? Like, who are you, Mike Trout? But yeah, love the song. I feel like with Drake's last 3 singles, I feel like, you know, I'm typically not a person that really enjoys the Drake singles that much. I tend to like them, but like these last 3 I've really liked. Not that I think these are like his best stuff, but like I just like them.
Yeah, I don't know. I think this one, like the song's cool. Mm-hmm. I feel like it's like stripped down, not like a stripped down version, but it's like a lesser version of God's Plan, kind of. But
I felt some of that. I also felt some of Trophies just because of the horns.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, you know, it was Drake. Like, you know, you think about, like, it totally disconnected from, like, you know, the world. Well,
that's the thing, though. Like, you don't go to... okay, so, for example, on the Verzuz, right? At the end of Verzuz between Ross and 2 Chainz, they both play their singles at the end of it. 2 Chainz is playing a sample of Southern covering the Piece of My Love Teddy Riley song, right?
Yeah, that's his new song with Lil Wayne.
Right. And then Ross plays his, and it's Ross talking about the black man's plight, and I'm like, dude, I know you covered that sort of thing like an inch deep on some of your albums from time to time, passing by.
He had a line on there that says, Terry Crews is basically...
He called him a coon. Not basically. He literally called him a coon. So, but, I'm gonna have to beep that like 4 or 5 times. But, yeah, so, but anyway, like, I don't want to hear Ross's social commentary on anything involving crack. I'm sorry. Okay. Is there anything you prefer to hear? Do you really want to hear that? Do you really want to hear that from Rick Ross? Have you ever wanted to hear that from Rick Ross? Has he ever give you something that made you say, you know, I want more from Rick Ross on that? No. So when it comes to Drake, it's like, if you're going to be the superficial guy your whole career, be the superficial emotional guy. I'm fine with it. This is the lot you have laid. This is the path you laid. I'm good with that. But I don't want to hear that from Drake. Like, maybe some other time or whatever else, but not right now. Yeah. Drake's still running these streets.
Yeah.
When Drake goes home to be a family man, maybe then I want some social commentary from him. Maybe then.
I guess I'll just wait for the Cole. J. Cole put out 2 songs a couple weeks ago. Flame.
And then, I mean, you also got to worry about Cole with, you know, the Snow in the Bluff song from like a month ago. When he's out here, like, doing little records on that one lady. Come on.
That might be coming back around because I heard she's been making herself look crazy in these streets on Twitter.
Maybe, but we flushed that song down the trash when it came out because we knew exactly what he was talking about, and also is like, you don't read? You don't read? That was the main thing more than anything. It was like, wait, you don't read? What?
Bro. Yeah, well, yeah, I don't know. It's amazing sometimes, like, you know, what a lot of that song was about was him not wanting this role that he seemingly got anointed or whatever.
Right. And then what does he do? He says, like, I don't like the way you're talking to me, lady, that apparently, like, from what I saw, didn't say anything crazy to him.
Yeah.
Like, 30. You tone police
crazy,
this woman?
man.
That's not a good look right now in these streets right now, my guy.
Yeah, man. Don't trust people that don't read, y'all. Like for real.
Don't you get tired of having to have almost every single day having to like steer somebody in the right path that doesn't read themselves? Don't you get tired of that? It's exhausting, ain't it?
It is like, bro, like, oh my God, it's like, bro, if you just read it, like,
why do you want me to hold your hand and walk you through this? Because you trust me. You know how I learned this? By reading. Put in your half and learn your damn self. I'm tired.
Yeah,
I get tired, bro.
Yeah, man.
He be running me off of the messenger thread from time to time.
We had the vice president announcement. So Kamala Harris was nominated, the first African American woman, and you'll get Jamaican and Indian thrown in there and all that, depending on who you hear it from, to be a vice presidential nominee for a major party. Very big occasion. I don't know a ton about her, but I know she's a serious debater. She put Justice Kavanaugh on the fucking hot, like, cooked him over open flame. He should have never been, processed, but that's a whole nother thing. But happy for her to get that look, and that's a very big thing. I just thought we should mention. Yeah,
I guess it's time for us to put in our social commentary, right?
Yeah, right.
But then again, like, we do social commentary a lot more than Ross ever did. Jesus Christ. You talked about how she set Kavanaugh on fire. She also set Biden on fire during the primary.
She did.
Yes. I guess. Yeah, but I guess we can move on to what were we talking about with Drake?
Like, basically, like, I was like, his songs, like, I was like totally disconnected from reality. Everything's going on, and it's just like, well, he is who he is at this point.
Yeah, and like, I don't really want to turn on the radio and hear a million like songs about that sort of stuff. Like, if you have a song that you feel is good enough or necessary or whatever else for the time that it's needed or whatever else, yeah, like the right songs hit the spot at the right time. I don't need it to be forced. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I remember in the first week after the protests started breaking out, you start seeing people drop their songs on Spotify. You're like, oh, okay. Either you whip this up in a heartbeat, or you just had one it just in the can, just ready to polish up and send out to the world. Like, I'm sorry, I'm not interested in Meek Mill. No, thank you. Like, it's funny.
I had to take a couple months before I started rapping about it. Like, but these people was jumping out here before June. Like,
right. Then we let the shit get out the summer, or get to the summer. Yeah. But as far as Drake, the real reason why we brought him up is the large discussions happened over the last month where people are talking about, like, in the future, what does it look like if he does go independent, or if he goes, or if he stays, like, or what would, Universal give him to get him to stay? And everyone's conclusion more or less came down to the same. It's like, they give him whatever he asked for. And, before we press play on this, or press record on this, I was kind of like, yeah, man, like, the only person that can really can have the power of be label backed and also be independent that we've ever seen is Jay-Z now. And like, it took Jay-Z having to be, the president of Def Jam in the early or the mid to late 2000s to do such a thing. And like, I'm sorry, like, I don't really see that being something that Drake would ever want to do to even get to that level. I don't know if Drake even has to go to that to get to this point, but because he's bigger than Jay-Z was relative to the time. But I just don't know. It's in my mind, is have a hard time imagining like someone else reaching that and reaching it like that fast. Like, obviously it shouldn't be a time thing, because ultimately it's like the time is whatever your deal is and like how much leverage you have. But I don't know. Like I feel like if the whole idea is just to be like, if this was Jay-Z in the Drake role, yeah, he goes immediately independent and just makes as much money as he possibly can. But like, if he's in Drake's shoes, but I don't know how Drake would move in this situation. What do you think?
I don't really know how he's wired, but up until now, he's always had all these slashes in his deal. There's like Young Money / Cash Money / Universal, and it's, you know, as those slashes have gone away, it seems like he's retreated more from the spotlight. Like as far as like, you know, the interviews are done less, public appearances are way less, and it's just strictly about the music. Like, you see him when his music comes out, you see him when he's, you know, in a beef with Pusha T.
Oh my god!
But you don't really hear from him that much. But everything's just massive. It's almost like some Michael Jackson shit. But as far as what he could want from a label, like, they would have, like, I just watched the 5-part No Limit documentary that
BET,
you know, went up, that BET did. Yeah, it was really good. And Master P walked in there and was like, ain't no negotiating. I want 85-15, and y'all just need to press this up, and y'all need to just be part of this. And he got what he wanted in the 90s. Bro, Drake not only could get that if he wanted to, but like he could like wipe his ass with that deal, like right now, based on who he is, how like plugged in he is still to, you know, like when he pushes the button, like that shit goes. It's Drake. But it's a lot, because I don't like we better be thankful that Drake doesn't have the mentality of Master P, where he's like, I want to dominate the world. Drake's content with just doing his music and then, you know, hanging out in Toronto for the winter. Aside from that, like, we don't really see no Drake clothing line. We don't see no Drake like extra, like, the outside of rap really stuff. Like, it's like, why hasn't he really done a movie yet? Like, he should have
an actor,
right? He should have like had his own like Purple Rain by now. Like, but like I don't know his ambitions.
Yeah, if you think about it, like, a number of rappers that have been even below his level or at his level over the last, you know, few years, whether it was, or not few years, but over the last few decades, whether it was 8 Mile or Get Rich or Die Trying or ATL, like, you had...
Is this where I get to bring up Killer Season? Fuck you, Habibi, I'm taking this bread.
That was not a wide release. That's why I did not mention Killer Season, Rich. Jesus Christ. I didn't mention Belly either. You notice I didn't do that, right? Yeah, I guess what I'm really saying is, like, I think he knows where his butter is bread, or where his bread is buttered. It is kind of like, you know, the Nike stuff and the Jordans or whatever else is cool, and like, you know, the OVO Raptor stuff is cool, but it's like, I think he's not, obviously Kanye was such a huge influence on him, and he's seeing what Kanye is doing, but like, I don't think he's motivated in that way, because it's like, he could have a line or whatever else and get some deal with Nike or whoever, especially right now after Nike like kind of pushed off Kanye, and now Kanye is selling just ridiculous amounts of merchandise off of Adidas with his lines and stuff. Like, Kanye's more, or Drake's more popping than Kanye is at this point. So, but it doesn't seem like he wants to do that, and like, that's probably fine with me, but it's like, at a certain point, he's gonna be too old to be like the guy that keeps making these club records. Eventually, he's gonna have to like do something else, and I don't know what his like late like career turn takes him. I just don't. Like, maybe he just
big homie Drake.
I mean, he already is there. He's been. I mean,
yeah, that's true.
Think of when he started crabbing off dudes' records and started making them his own records. What was that, like 2015?
Yeah.
Yeah, like he's already there. Like the thing that was crazy for me was Marvin Wilson, who came back to Florida State for his senior year, which is, you know, turned out to be a great idea given the pandemic right now, right? He was a 5-star recruit, one of, I think, 5 or 10 best college football players in the country in high school coming out, right? So that's 2016, I think, 2017.
Something like that.
I remember him saying that, like, I was reading some interview for him before he showed up to Florida State or whatever else, and he's out of Louisiana, and he was talking about how Drake was like this legend to him because he remembered the first time he was a legend because his first album came out when he was in 5th grade or something. And I was like, wait, that don't even sound, wait, what? And then I went back and was like, holy shit, he's been around since 2000, like, his first album came out in 2009, which means, you know, the mixtape came out in 2008 or 7 or some shit. Like, he's been in the national forefront from, like, at this point, given out a conversation, 12, 13 years. Like, he's been big homie. Like, so
nigga Drake left me in the dust, bitch.
Oh my god.
Left me in the dust.
Hey man, melodies and politics. That's how it goes.
Yeah, I can't sing, bro. We've demonstrated this. Yeah.
I mean, we got a couple tracks with you on the auto tune that sound pretty good. A couple of them.
Nah, man. Like, it just don't quite go. Like, I can write the hooks, I can make the words go, but it just don't quite curl. You know.
Did you ever put out the mixtape that had you over some
no.
NOA? Some
I knew exactly where you were going. Yes.
Can I even say it or no?
Sure. Go ahead.
Yeah, you had a few tracks that you basically did your own remix version of over 808s and Heartbreak Beats. You had a couple of them. Like Paranoid, for example, that's one I remember specifically because it's like Paranoid was already like let me phrase it. Paranoid was already this song that was like so like you are so insecure. It's almost like gaslighty, and then your version is even more just trash and toxic.
Yes.
And then, and then you threw my name into that shit at the end. I remember that.
I did. Yes,
yeah.
Yes.
I'm
with James.
Totally threw me under the bus. Had nothing to do with any of that. Nothing.
Yeah.
Leave me alone. I don't know why y'all put me up to that. Never mind. But I guess we can move on to the 2 Chainz thing. Just quick, like 2 Chainz and Rick Ross versus. Like Rick Ross, I end up scoring it 10 Ross, 7 2 Chainz, 2 draws, and 1 that I threw as no contest because they played just 2 songs that sucked. So I was like, I'm not even going to dignify that with a draw. Those just no contest. Throw that out. Like, bro, he played Tears of Joy. Ross played Tears of Joy.
Yeah. That's one of the ones right there. I love that song.
No drums, Rich.
No, it has no snares.
No, it has no kick. Which is what we all describe as drums. I fucking hate that song. And it's rambling rap about nothing. Just anyway.
What else? I like that song because Slaughterhouse like remixed that song.
Oh, you like the song because someone else did something over it, not what Ross did over it.
Well, it made me like what Ross did to it more.
Oh. Yeah, but you just go through this thing and it's like, all right, so he
bro, I'm shocked 2 Chainz didn't play Understatement. Like he didn't play
Understatement. He didn't play Riot. There's even more stuff that Ross didn't play. Like Ross didn't play not one Maybach music.
Yeah.
Not one. He didn't play This Is the Life. He didn't play.
He stayed away from a lot.
He didn't play Speeding, which might be like a thing where I'm not gonna play any R. Kelly, which is like, okay, I understand that. He didn't play Blow. He didn't play I Get It.
He could have played Usual Suspects. He could have played.
Right. he
did play Rich off cocaine, though.
Yeah, he did. That beat is so hard, but that
so hard.
Song is so ridiculous. And I think he gave that song as a shout out to like all the shit we going through. I know, like, Ross, do you know what that fucking song is about? That song is about you.
He also did play "I'm Not a Star."
Yes,
amazing.
He did. Which was also funny because he also played John, which is like, so you're basically playing the same song twice, except different beats. One's from Polo, one's from Justice League. He didn't play Yams. He played like I'm a Boss is like the only song he played off any of the MMG shit that I remember. Same thing with Hustle. Like Hustle was the only song off Port of Miami. He played nothing off of Trilla, which he could have. Deeper in the Rap, the only song he played was Mafia music, if I remember correctly. He didn't play like the Hello Good Morning remix. He didn't play. I think I'm Almost the only Khaled song he played, which is like, I think all the Khaled songs he was on, like, you know, We Taking Over.
He played Rich Off Cocaine was on Deeper in Rap.
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot. He played it like track 20, like the very last track.
Yeah.
Which is like his placement. Their place was all over the place, and like they didn't do the, you know, one person goes first, and then at halftime when we get to 11, the other person switch. They just Ross went first every single time. And when the time they got to like track 11, 2 Chainz was like, when we supposed to switch? And then like switched off camera saying or Timbaland, he was like, oh, I don't know. And then 2 Chainz was like, but this your shit, nigga. Like, what do you mean? You don't know. But like, yeah, Ross is all over the place playing a bunch of different stuff. Like, it's a bunch of stuff that's like, that's the album cut type of stuff, which is cool, but it's like, you could also play like the street anthem stuff. And he did at the beginning, but it kind of tailed off. I guess it was more like to show the diversity of the catalog, I guess, which if that's the case, that's a good night for Ross, but
I would think so.
But he could not have done it against somebody he did not know he could smoke. Like, he did that against somebody that he felt like, well, comfortable, he could just, you know, he would win. Like,
yeah, it's funny that like Ross picked like 2 Chainz to do this against, like when it would have been like, well, how about you versus like T.I.? That would have been interesting.
That would have been just as big of a blowout. The other way around, where you like, you compared them, you're like, no, it's not close. Like, especially if you compare like their quote unquote hit records as far as stuff they actually landed and were singles and landed on Billboard. Like, keep in mind, Ross, like, I don't think Ross ever had a platinum, like a top 10 single ever.
I think that stuff's overrated, like, especially in this format.
It is, until you remember, like, all right, you throw that in, and then it's like, who has better albums? And it's like, oh, so he has better hits, and he has a deeper catalog, and like, one guy was actually, like, at one point, for 1 year, may have been, like, the best rapper in 2006. You can never say any year that Ross was the best rapper in any year. It would be rough. It would have been rough.
So he didn't have, so Ross didn't have...
2010, I'm gonna say Kanye.
Okay, I'll give you that.
He helped because he was on Monster and on Devil New Dress.
He was close. He was up there. He was in top 2, 3.
Probably put him second.
Like
yeah, probably put him second. But like that second's a distant second because it's Kanye. And it was Kanye before, you know, all of this shit that's going on. Before the nonsense, or even more of the nonsense, that was like, no, we can't rock with that dude no more.
Yeah,
like 2010 Kanye, he was like, yeah, man, y'all tripping about this Taylor Swift thing, and we was offending them, and now it's like, I ain't defending shit with Kanye. Nope. He's on his own.
Well, let that man defend himself.
Yeah, because he does so well doing that.
He's responsible for his own,
right?
You
know. So I guess it's time to talk about wrestling, right?
Wrestling. So what happened this week?
Okay, so from my perspective, what happened this week was we are headed towards SummerSlam.
Yikes.
Next week. So I guess we gotta do a little preview here. We had an okay AEW Dynamite. We had like the first 30 minutes of NXT may have been the worst 30 minutes of NXT I've ever seen in my life.
Jesus.
Just like what even is this? This is like some of the worst of the main roster. And after that, like, towards the end, like, the show settled down, but, like, the first 30, 40 minutes of the show is so bad that it's like, nah, that's a bad show, or that's a mediocre show at best, or a bad show. I'll probably just call it a bad show. Like, most memorable things about that show you'll ever remember weeks from now, you'd be like, God, that fucking sucked.
Do you want to, stunt on Daniel Cormier now or later?
Oh, let's do it now. Let's do it now. Last night, UFC, Daniel Cormier in the main event against Stipe Miocic. I'm always bad with calling Miocic or Miocic. Because, you know, all the foreigners, all the Eastern Europeans in the NBA, I don't know if it's itch or ick. I don't know. Miocic. I can't do it. Miocic. I can't do it. I don't know which one to do it. And I'm also exploring my speech. But anyway, I call him Stipe. So, this was the third match. They both knocked each other out in prior matches. Cormier won the first match. Stipe won the second match. This is a rubber match. This is Cormier basically like coming out of unofficial retirement, or actually official retirement, I don't remember. But he hadn't fought since he had got knocked out by Stipe, and word was he didn't want to do this past 40. He's 41. They gave him a title shot. He said, fuck it, I'll do it. And came out and he won the first round, and then at the end of the second round he got saved at the bell after he got put on his ass by some right hooks, and looked like he may have broken his nose. Earlier in the fight, I think in the first round, there was an eye poke by Cormier, I think in the third or fourth round, I think the third round actually. Third round, at the end of the third round, Stipe got him with an eye poke, and his was way worse on Cormier. Cormier's eye is like, looks terrible. He looks like Forrest Whitaker. And then from there, like, they just got, you know, bigger guys, heavyweights, fourth championship rounds. They're starting to get tired. They're starting to just lay on each other. Like, Stipe got to a point where, like, he would get into some type of clinch and would just take DC to the corner, take Cormier to the cage, and like he would just let him lay on him forever. But at the end, the eye turned into a problem. I think most of the time anyone got hurt by strikes, it was DC that was on the receiving end of the hurting strikes. Like, I felt like there were different points where he was about to go down, but he just didn't. Cause he, you know, got to give Cormier credit. He is tremendous at taking a shot that would be like the beginning of just the end, and surviving it. The only one he really didn't survive was the knockout with Bones Jones, which is, when you watch it's hilarious. He's like he falls, he tries to get away. He's literally running against the cage to try to get away, but you know Jones is, you know, so adept with his feet and kicking and, you know, all the stuff he does to people that him up. He took his legs out from underneath him and he dropped the elbow on him. But like, there were times where he was hurt and staggered, and like one more shot would take him out, but like he found a way to regroup or stay alive. And I give the dude credit, like he was out there pretty much working with one eye, like, and he was losing like Jean-Pierre Lafitte. He was losing these rounds late. Actually, I take it back. I feel like the fourth round was a draw, but or could have been a draw, but like. Let's say you think it's going to the fifth round is 2-2. In the first minute, Stipe just took it from him. And then after that, after he won the first minute of that round, Stipe just took his ass to the cage and laid on him. It's like, well, I've done enough. It's a wrap. I'm the champion. I just won the first minute of this fifth round. I'm finna lay on your ass to the end. And that's pretty much how it ended, where he's laying on to the end. I think Stipe was in phenomenal condition. I think Cormier was in terrible condition. Well, his body's always looks bad, though. His body always looks bad. It looked worse. I think it looks about the same from what at heavyweight. The weight is different at heavyweight between, the cruiserweight stuff. But yeah, at heavyweight, he kind of looks like that.
Yeah.
But you're right. He always looks bad.
It's like, damn, bro. Like, can we get this man on like a low carb diet? Can we attempt to get an ab going? Like, could we attempt to hold off on the fried chicken for like a cycle? Like it's just like, it's phenomenal that he's able to like move the way he is and look that far out of shape, like cosmetically. Right.
I think it's a mindfuck for a lot of people too.
Yeah.
People that he fights in the ring or the cage. It's like, bro, I'm finna, and it's like, nah, bro, like, you gotta keep in mind, like, if he were to cut down, if he was to lose that kind of weight or whatever else and be, 6-pack or whatever else, I would say he'd probably be a middleweight. Yeah. 180 is like middleweight for UFC. He'd probably be in the middleweight range. But, nah. He's wrestling, he's always wrestling bigger. So, he has this a natural thing where he has the endurance to go that far, but like he reached a point where like he got really hurt and then like it kind of got taken out of him. Because he even tried to I think he tried like one takedown. He got him down the first round. That was it.
Yeah. Pretty much, I came on to watching the fight towards the end of the first round, and Stevie looked like he was dominating from that point on, just rights and lefts to the face, jacking him up against the cage, doing whatever he wanted, like pretty much. But so now that we got the official stuff out of the way, so like, how do you feel about not having to watch Daniel Cormier fight anymore?
About pretty much any other time I watch UFC when he's not on the card, I'm perfectly fine with it. Like his results speak for themselves, but like as far as him being a watch a personality that I thought was dynamic in that way, nah. I thought that he's as a fighter, I think as a commentator, he's great. He's legitimately a great commentator, but as a personality and a person I want to pay to see fight, it was never there for me. It was always he was wrestling or fighting the other guy. Always.
So he's got like the Triple H thing kind of going.
Well, he's better at this than Triple H is at what he does. But yeah, there are parallels there, yeah.
So he's fighting the person you actually want to see.
Yeah, more or less. Yeah. In his case, it's really just John Jones, and then after that, that made him into his own star, and then, he kind of just put over Stipe on the way out. So, in that way, in that way, he became a star in his own right off the strength of wanting to see John Jones fights, and, how compelling those fights were, where, DC was beating him in the early rounds until he wasn't in a dynamic fashion. The tables turned dynamically. So yeah. The same thing, if Gustafsson had stayed healthy and kept his mind right, he would have been a star off that classic he had with John Jones too. It's just, DC had was able to keep this shit together, and Gustafsson fell off a cliff and was never the same after that, pretty much.
So in WWE news, well, go ahead and finish your thought.
I don't want to see him wrestle. Stay the fuck away. I don't care. Yeah, no thank you. No thank you.
You mean you don't want to see him come,
fuck no. You out of your mind?
Oh man.
Unless you know how serious, how much, Brock respects his business. You see him anywhere on the SummerSlam card?
No.
Yeah. I don't either.
Yeah.
I will collect my downside. I'm not coming into that bullshit. I wrestle big venues. You're lucky I showed up for WrestleMania to drop this fucking thing.
Speaking of big venues, where I was actually going to head with that. So WWE has decided Raw and SmackDown and most of the big shows going forward, like SummerSlam or any pay-per-views, at least through up till October, they're going to be moving from the Performance Center to the Amway Center, or Amway Arena in downtown Orlando. That's where the Orlando Magic play. Very nice stadium. They've run a lot of events there in the past, including the 2017 Royal Rumble, 2016 Royal Rumble, 2017 WrestleMania weekend shows were there. And apparently this was like a part of a mindset, like, you know, they thought that the reason the ratings, like this is one school of thought, you know, they've been taking a beating and not come back. It's the look of the show, like it's the arena. And I think someone showed Vince the deal with putting the fans on the screen that the NBA is doing. He's like, we got to do something like that. So it's going to look like AWA Vern Gagne Team Challenge, apparently. But, James, is it the arena that is, you know, that is, causing, you know, the fans not to come back? Like, is it the look of the show? It's got to be that, right?
Okay, so I'm not going to pretend that that's not a factor for why some people are watching, but I also am not going to pretend that that's not why that is the main reason why people are not watching. The show's booking and storytelling and star making machine is broken totally. So that is the biggest reason why people are not returning to watch, because it's a bad TV show. Whatever genre of television you think it is at the bottom of all of them. It's the worst. It's the worst sports show you watch, because you can't watch the fucking action because they keep flipping the camera, so you keep getting lost in a sense of where you are and what is taking place. And like the commentary is god awful and disingenuous and is not actually true to what are you actually seeing. So it's the worst sports product you watch. You listen to the dialogue and the stories and how they never pay off, or they're nonsensical and they leave out details that were said in 1 week and move on, and things are flip-flop constantly. It's the worst drama you guys watch. When they do the stuff that's comedy, funny, unless it's really like R-Truth or somebody that's like pretty much their job is to be funny, it comes off bad and mostly that's tone deaf and terrible and sophomoric. So it's the worst comedy you watch. Also, it's the worst of the worst of the worst, Captain. Yes, sir.
I've a couple of like things of
sorry, I forgot one more genre. If you are a person that watches like Stranger Things or watches Horror Story, American Horror Story, or whatever else, it is amongst some of the worst thriller and horror elements that you see when it comes to the stupid fucking fiend thing. Whatever else. So it's also the worst horror that you watch as well.
Yeah. I just heard like some rough details about like apparently like Braun Strowman and the Fiend have like switched philosophies or bodies or whatever the fuck it's supposed to be, and like people are wondering if the Fiend and Alexa Bliss are going to fuck. Like it's like this is where we've gone with this. Braun Strowman also cut all his hair off. He's totally bald now.
I saw that. He looks like a white supremacist. You know who else like a white supremacist?
Who?
Karrion Kross.
Oh yeah, big time.
He looks real American History X. Anyway,
I saw the Strowman thing, and apparently he said he was losing his hair. I didn't feel like he was.
No. Mel pattern in the back. He was getting the moon from the back.
He was
like,
getting
but it was getting, you couldn't really tell because it was getting collected into the mohawk, into the
gotcha.
ponytail. But like you could see it whenever he starts sweating. It's been there.
Yeah,
it's been there.
Yeah, he looks
the hairline was strong though.
It was hairline strong.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks real different. Not like a big baby face. I'll say that.
Oh.
Nah. Which is why I guess he switched like with the Fiend. I don't know, bro. I don't watch shit.
Yeah,
but
the dude with the freaking Slipknot mask on.
Is the baby face
with the disgusting looking white dreadlocks is the baby face, right? That's yeah. Like maybe, just maybe, based on looks, it's a heel versus heel program. Maybe, just maybe.
Then of course, I'm seeing the Retribution folks on the timeline, and
are they
Raw Underground, and
I got a question.
They changed out the geek
size now. It feels like they've changed size.
They're taller now. So like
what?
So like,
is anybody basically
like, bro, like, so
anonymous?
it was like last week, these people were like, they were like 5 foot tall, right? And now clearly there was one of them that was Brennan Williams. And then there was another one, what's up to her? It was clearly Jesse that was one of them. That you could tell by the hair or whatever. And it's weird because like this should tell you everything's broken. They don't have an idea for who the actual group is. They're just using like fill-ins until like that is time.
Well, if they are Antifa, there should be many of them, and because they all
no centralized leader.
I mean, right? There's no centralized leader, and they're faceless. So all the people, it is. So if it is Antifa, like people were saying it wasn't before, they said no, it's not Antifa. There's a lot of Antifa type traits or whatever else.
Amazing.
Yeah. I don't, just keep them away from SummerSlam, I guess. Like, if I have to watch this shit, keep them away from SummerSlam. I want to come clean matches, please. And then you can do whatever on TV. And I can not watch that. Like,
I guess we should quickly run down the SummerSlam card, shouldn't we?
I thought we kind of already were.
Like, hold on. Let me just, pull it up here.
Drew McIntyre versus Randy Orton. That's the main event.
That, like, doesn't excite me very much, but I like Drew. He's gonna work hard. Randy Orton, you know, when there's a title to win, you know, he may show up. You never know. But you know, they've clearly been angling this match for months.
Yep.
And we'll see how tall Drew McIntyre is, I guess.
He's taller than Orton. He's an inch taller. Yeah.
Well, as far as I'm concerned, Orton the tallest guy on the roster.
He's taller than Strowman.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that the match will be good. I think that Orton is somebody. I think that Drew is somebody that Orton would respect. And to be fair with Orton, outside of the ring, he's been killing it. He just has, like, he's doing the best promo work of his life, and it's gone beyond just the Edge stuff. It's now moved on to, like, almost every other week. Like, if you were to ask me who are the best two promos, like, what two wrestlers have the most number of good promos this year, it would be Moxley and him. Like, I don't know where this came from. I saw that he did this interview where he realized, like, that now that he's older, that, like, it's not the matches, it's the promos that get you over. And I'm like, I feel like these are platitudes or whatever else, and you're not giving yourself enough credit for the fact that you are a lot better in than he was, let's say, before 2013. I think he's been a good promo since, like, or actually, I think 2014, 15, like, right around the stuff with, like, he was getting kicked out of the Authority by Seth. Like, that's when he was starting to cut good promos or whatever else. And he kind of, like, kept it in his back pocket and would bring it out from time to time, like when him and AJ were out here, like, throwing fucking nuclear warheads on each other, going to WrestleMania 35. But, yeah, I don't know what that match would look like other than it looking like every other Randy Orton match you ever seen the last, like, you know,
big, slow WWE Vince McMahon wrestling.
Yeah, like, and the last 5 minutes are great, and you're like, why can't you just do this for like 20 minutes or for 15 minutes or 20 minutes instead of just 5? Yep, exactly.
Then we got Dominic Mysterio against Seth Rollins in a now named street fight. So Dominic has to come to the ring with a stick, right? They beat the holy shit out of this man the last time we seen him, right?
Yeah.
So he has to enter the arena with a weapon, right?
Well, you said a stick. When you said, I'm thinking like, nah, bro, you beat the shit out of me with something like, it's a street fight. Shouldn't he pull the
gun,
the Yuzuki Aikawa, and pull a gun out during a no DQ match, right?
hey, at this point, he might have to. I
mean, it's just like one of those things where it's going to happen. Like, they're going to have a match, and we don't know what it's going to be, but like inevitably you're going to have Murphy come out, or Murphy and Austin Theory. I don't know if Austin Theory is healthy yet or not, or whatever else, but makes him run in, and all.
He's not injured.
I didn't say injured. I said healthy. I'm saying it without saying it. Yeah. So, what was I going to say? Yeah, and then like Ray's going to make a run in and make a save, and we'll see what goes from there. Like, it's a story where like the in-ring stuff doesn't matter. It's about like what happens at the end with whatever story they're trying to tell, with hurting Ray or hurting Dominic again, or if they're going to like make rally and beat Seth. Like, it's just.
I just hope Dominic doesn't turn on his dad.
That'd be fucking stupid. Like, where were you to save me when your eye was out? You fucking goddamn idiot. Yeah, I just whatever. Like, it's Seth. It's a green dude in the ring with Seth Rollins. It's like, from what I've seen of Dominic, he looks good, but experience is a thing that matters. And like Seth. I feel bad for Seth, except Seth keep putting himself in a situation where you can't feel bad for him because he keeps wanting to spot off and say dumb shit online or say dumb shit for internet interviews. So, whatever. Like, the match can be good or it can be bad, or it could just be a nothing ass match to tell the next story, which is like, why it's so hard to just get Rey Mysterio versus Seth Rollins in the fucking ring for a regular ass match. Well, I've been waiting for that since the last Monday Night Raw of September last year. We still haven't gotten it. They teased it over and over. They've had this bullshit ass eye pop out match instead of doing this. It's two of the greatest wrestlers in-ring workers they've ever had in the company, and they refuse to let them have a wrestling match. They wouldn't do this to AJ Styles. Where's AJ Styles? Where's the AJ Styles and Daniel Bryan eye for an eye match? Why are they having Seth do this? Well, I know why. Because AJ and Daniel Bryan probably tell Vince, no, I don't want to do that dumb shit. And it's Seth. If I do this for him, then They'll owe me. Like, you need to talk to Dean Ambrose and CM Punk about Vince McMahon and him owing them some shit. And did they ever get paid back? You might learn some things. The answer is no. You just get fucked and then you out here capping for them while they out here ruining your career. Bro, would you feel sad if you never watched another Seth Rollins match?
No.
Same here.
I've seen everything I've ever need to see. It only goes downhill from here, right? As far as like them fucking up his matches, yes. Well, we've already seen the peak of him.
At this point, yeah.
I don't feel like he just like reels it back and can just like, turn the clock back. Like, I don't get that vibe from him. Like, I get very comfortable coasting, knowing what he has to do at this stage, like junior Randy Orton-ish. But like more athletic.
I think he tries a lot harder than Randy ever did on a consistent basis. I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't say that to him. I feel like, even this year when he had the dumbass match at last pay-per-view with the eye poke thing, he worked his ass off. That was a good match until you like, oh yeah, how do you win this match again? Oh yeah, you gotta pull someone's eye out. Never mind. Like, it's just, he tries hard. He wrestles very well. He can, I feel like if he were somewhere else, he would have great matches still, but like, he's here.
But he likes it and loves it.
Right, so I don't feel bad for him.
Ain't no excuses for him.
Right. It's just he's another victim of the system. He's another victim of the system. He don't even realize it.
You don't even know it.
Right. Look, I'm glad Ross didn't play that. I'm glad he did not play that. Jesus Christ.
So what the fuck happened with this triple battle royal? Why did Asuka win this shit? Asuka is having two separate matches for the Raw and the SmackDown title. She's fighting Sasha Banks in one match and Bayley in the other.
I'm assuming it's for the same exact reason that they put the tag belts on Sasha and Bayley to begin with. It was, we're on Raw. Charlotte's hurt, or Charlotte has some type of thing to deal with. Becky is pregnant. There's nobody to face here because Kairi's leaving, and we don't want to shoot that. We don't want to do that, knowing that she's about to leave. So, like, you know, they have their problems with Shayna Baszler, and Nia. No one wants to see that. So it's like,
how about Bianca? How about Rhea Ripley? How about Mia Yim?
Rich.
How about
Rich?
Anybody else? Naomi.
Rich. This is WWE main roster ran by Vince McMahon and Bruce Pritchard. Those are all
but
those
James,
are all
I was told this is where the women thrive, and there's just all this opportunity for all these women here. This is what I've been told.
I think you were told that they have good matches in that the division that you're about to try to defend doesn't, for the most part, which that's kind of the case.
Like, you know, I'm told it's just so superior. You know, this is I'm not seeing it.
No.
Like,
well, I would say this: if you want to like go roster for roster, go. Good luck. But the thing with with WWE's situation is they decided like we want to. Those two are gone. Those are two we actually ever wanted to push right now. So we have Asuka. We respect Asuka, not enough to actually, like, you know, really push her, just enough to keep her protected. Like, I feel like in an ideal world, they see her as a gatekeeper for the title, more than actually a champion. Which is like, well, you see what happened. The two people they would make champion left, and what happened? She became the champion immediately. So, they've had their stuff with Asuka and Kairi and Sasha and Bayley, and for the most part, it's been damn good, or at times even great. In the ring. So, I think the idea is this is how they blow it all off. Is the story has been since like July, those two have came over and it's been Kabuki Warriors versus Asuka and Sasha. Kairi's gone. We made TV out of this. And this is where this is where it goes from here. Like, if you ask me, who do I want to see on the SmackDown side wrestle Bayley on television, or not television, on pay-per-view for SummerSlam? I look at that roster and I'm like, how are any of these people better options than Ashley Asuka in the second match? I don't give a damn. Like, if a Bayley versus Asuka match is going to be 3.5 stars. Bayley versus Nikki Cross again, Bayley versus Alexa Bliss, Bayley versus Mandy Rose, Bayley versus Sonya Deville, Bayley versus, who else is over there? Naomi.
Sound like this roster stinks.
We always talked about that SmackDown roster stinking. And the bad part about it is like, the people that they could be using to elevate, they've stuck together and not elevated either one of them over the last 4 months. Like, this this Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville thing should have been meant to elevate one of them. They've been stuck to each other on and off, not progressing either one of their careers or their storyline really for 4 months. This started at WrestleMania, or ended at WrestleMania, or popped off at WrestleMania. They're now having the first, like, real match.
Amazing. So between the Sasha match and the Bayley match, there's no way in fuck that we get 2 clean finishes, right?
No.
What would it like? What would the betting odds have to be to get 2 clean finishes on this?
For me to bet on it, to bet $100.
What would the line say if we opened the sports book? Like, I'm gonna bet on 2 clean finishes. It's like the longest of odds possible. It's like not just one bad finish, you might get 2.
Maybe 350.
Yikes. Then we've got a singles match for the Universal Championship. Braun Strowman and Bray Wyatt. Diesel versus Mabel says hello.
They're going to be better in the ring than Diesel and Mabel. Oh, wait, are they going to have a regular match, or what kind of match are they having?
I don't know what they about to do, but...
Well, does it say anything about a particular stipulation, or is it a regular match?
Singles match. That's what it says.
Alright, if they have a singles match, in the ring, the work will be better than Diesel versus Mabel.
All right.
Now, once you throw in the Bray Wyatt and the puppets and this Alexa Bliss nonsense and the, and whatever nonsensical finish they do to get Bray Wyatt the belt back because of SummerSlam, I feel like the wrestling will be better than Diesel and Mabel, but it could be worse than Diesel and Mabel as an entire product and presentation. Do you disagree with that?
Lex Luger versus Yokozuna says what's up.
Oh my God.
I will take Diesel versus Mabel, and they're gonna have to show me.
Nah, bro. Think about how immobile Kevin Nash was, and then for him to talk about his back for like the last 25 years. No, thank you. I'm not. No.
What else we got? Mandy Rose versus Sonya Deville. Hair versus hair match.
A hair versus hair match that got brought up as a step when one person cut another one's hair already.
Wow, such creativity!
And by cutting someone's hair, it was really like she removed her extensions.
Well, Mandy Rose actually cut her hair a little shorter.
Okay, cool. But
so it looks like she kind of has
Sonya
like Sonya
was cutting extensions.
Yeah.
I
have no idea who wins. Like, I just hope they don't cut Sonya Deville's hair and make her look like Mel.
I was about to say that, like, the person that really, like, I think it's a bad idea for either one of them, but for Sonya, it's like, the mystique the aesthetic and the mystique she's running with, like, relies on her hair a lot. And, like, if she's gonna be bald,
it's different.
Then what?
Shouldn't a Braun Strowman versus Bray Wyatt have been a hair versus hair match if Strowman was going to cut his hair anyway?
What? Yes, that should have been the case. But, it's supposed to mean more because, it's a crazy thing. Like, I saw that stipulation. I was just like thinking of, the women hair versus hair matches that I know of. And I'm just like, this is you know how, I can't remember what ladder match it was, but you were I think it was after, the Lucha Bros, the ladder match of death, Lucha Bros versus the Young Bucks from, last year. You were like, the ladder match, stipulation needs to be laid to rest for a while to let that shit breathe because they killed it that hard. I'm sorry, bro. Women's hair versus hair matches, there is not a chance that this shit will rate. This will not be Nanae Takahashi versus Arisa Nakajima from last year. You know what I'm saying? The best women's match I saw work-wise all year last year, not a fucking chance. This will not be Manami Toyota versus Toshio Yamada. No.
Remember Goto versus Suzuki, and Suzuki had to shave his own hair off?
Right. But I was talking about specifically the women's hair versus hair.
Okay.
But yeah, there's just no. Just no. It's not, obviously they don't really care about that, but it's you're gonna do a hair versus hair match on on the undercard, and it's gonna mean next to fucking nothing. A month.
And also,
it won't mean nothing other than you look at either one of them a month from now and be like, why is their hair short? Oh, they had a hair match. You're like, oh, okay.
It's empty arena. There's no fans to react to this shit. When the cutting is going on.
Which is the main point of a hair versus hair match is the reaction after it of people being super happy or people being in tears.
I guess this is the world we're in now.
Yeah.
Apollo Crews versus MVP. Two brothers fighting over the United States Championship. So,
I didn't know Apollo Crews is back yet.
Yeah, he's back.
Okay.
I would have liked this to be Lashley here, but here we are.
Maybe that's next month. I don't know.
Yeah, I have nothing on this.
It's okay. Do you think Lashley's not on the card, right? So Lashley's going to be ringside, right?
Yeah, I would assume so.
So I imagine Lashley is going to help him win, or the odds get even by Ricochet and Cedric, or Cedric finally turns on Ricochet and joins the Hurt Business, and then we're off to the races with whatever that faction is. I feel like they're all just been in a holding pattern trying to get back to Lashley versus McIntyre after and
good luck.
I mean, after the match that they had in the ring at that pay-per-view, like, I want to see them wrestle again. I want to see them wrestle again, but it's like, you know, you just know what it is with WWE. It's like everything they do to even plan for the future eventually turns into shit. So why should I expect this one to actually follow through? Like after they had such a pleasant surprise of a match in the last pay-per-view that went to that nonsensical finish, like to save face for a rematch is like, I've seen how this movie goes. Like the last time you ever done one of these, it was at any bit good was like AJ and Samoa Joe 2 years ago.
Yeah. Then we got the tag team match for the Raw
Championship.
Championship.
Last year, Becky and Sasha and Hell in a Cell. I forgot about that. But like that's two in like
rare, man.
When they do it all the time, they screw you out of finish to build no rematch all the time. And there's only two examples I think where it actually worked out for them in 2 years.
Street Profits versus Andrade and Angel Garza. Of course, Montez Ford was poisoned.
That's nonsense. I mean, that's nonsense. But like, you know how the machinations to get to this Rose, right?
Not really.
They had a match prior, and the champions beat the challengers. So then they were in a number one contenders match where the challengers were Andrade and them won again, so they get another shot. Where they get a title match now. Like, it's just whatever.
I guess, you know,
whatever. Like, and now it's really kind of, you know, or
inspiring.
At least off screen, it is like leaning towards the Zelina and Bianca thing. So maybe this turns into a trios match or whatever, a mismatched trio match. I don't know. Like, maybe that's a TV match. It's probably a TV match in the future. I don't know. Like, all four of them dudes try really fucking hard all the time. You know, that might be an opener. I can see that being an opener, a hot opener. Like, if this was on Dynamite, I'd be like, I can't wait to see this match, but this is, you know, this company. So
that's the whole card.
That's it. Wow.
Yeah. Right now, unless they add stuff this week, not a lot of SmackDown guys, it looks like, on this show.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Title match.
So
everything else looks like it's from Raw.
AJ Styles versus Jeff Hardy is on Friday.
TV.
Yeah, that's why I said Friday. And
what about Riddle?
I don't know what Riddle's doing. I don't watch SmackDown and I don't watch Riddle, so I don't know.
Yeah.
But I was saying is like that match would be on SummerSlam, but you know, they're trying to use these matches to sucker you into watching instead of putting it on pay-per-view.
Yeah.
I'm sure that'll do good as far as it's, you know, quarter hour, but like as far as retaining fans, like nah, anybody falling for that. They know your tricks.
Yeah.
They know you're using it. You're using, you know, Kyrie. Like, how is Kyrie gonna be written off as bait for you to watch? They know that like that Sasha and Asuka match was bait after the last pay-per-view to get you to tune in and watch. It's like, nah, bro. Eventually, people get suckered into that shit, and then like you give them garbage finishes, they'll be like, nah, we learned. Like, remember I told you like probably like going out of I forgot where WrestleMania was, but like people have gotten hip to this night after WrestleMania shit, and then sure enough, like, the very next year when it came around, like that shit didn't bounce back at all.
Yep.
So this might be one because maybe that's just how I feel, but like I feel like people are hip to this. You know, we are putting pay-per-view quote unquote matches on. Or we're putting some of our pay-per-view matches on TV to get you to watch. Like, people's like, I don't care, bro. I'll just watch it later. Or on YouTube or whatever.
Yeah. So that was SummerSlam. Inspiring.
Can you imagine like 5 years ago, this would be our SummerSlam preview?
You know what 5 years ago was, James?
2015.
It was Brock Lesnar versus The Undertaker in the main event.
Right.
And what else was on the damn show? I don't remember. But
well, let's do 4 years ago. AJ Styles versus John Cena.
Yeah. 7 years ago, John Cena versus Daniel Bryan. Brock versus Punk. 2018, the Big Man Fatal 4-Way.
Yep.
Yeah, man. Just I don't know, man. Like,
last year was Seth versus Brock in the rematch, right?
Yeah.
After Brock cashed in on him. 2018 Dean Ambrose came back for the
That's right.
from the shoulder, from the elbow thing.
They ran off the air.
Ran off the air like hose. Yep, that's right. Yep. That did wonders for Braun Strowman long term, didn't it?
Boy, so bad. It's like we have it's like we called this every step of the way.
kind of like, yo, this is a bad idea. You probably should do this. Oh, you're not? No, not gonna listen to your fans. No, okay.
Well, if there's one thing they need to listen to us about, that's right. Manscaped. Manscaped, who's the best in men's below the belt grooming. Manscaped offers precision engineered tools for your family jewels. They obsess over their technology developments to provide you the best tools for your grooming experience. And on top of that, we've got a little bonus thing for you guys. With the, Manscaped, we are running a contest. So here's how that contest goes. So the first 5 people who purchase something from Manscaped and use our code and email us proof of purchase to socialsuplex@gmail.com will get AEW All Out ordered for them, courtesy of the Social Suplex Podcast Network. So one more time. So the first 5 people who purchase something from Manscaped and use our code and email us proof of purchase to socialsuplex@gmail.com will get AEW's All Out pay-per-view ordered for them, courtesy of the Social Suplex Podcast Network. So that's something we're just hooking y'all all the way up. So besides keeping you guys, safe with the advanced skin safe technology, giving you the 90-minute battery, the LED light, the 20% off, the free shipping, the 7,000 RPM, the chargeable battery, you get 20% off and free shipping with the code suplex at manscaped.com. That's right. 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com and use the code suplex. Don't forget about the All Out pay-per-view contest. If you don't want to pay Tony Khan that money, that's okay. We will. So, but you will get to see the show. All you got to do is, hook yourself up, take care of yourself, and you win. How easy of a concept is this, James?
Seems very simple to me.
I don't know what y'all waiting for. Y'all should have already ordered this stuff before I finish reading this ad. So I'm gonna just assume that y'all went ahead and did that. And we're going to go ahead and get, to the reviews here. So, AEW Dynamite, like you said earlier, an okay show. I felt like everything just kind of missed the level that it could have got to. I liked the opener. I liked the promo segments. I don't know. Something wasn't right, though. So we're going to start off. The Young Bucks had a match with Evil Uno and Stu Grayson. Thought this was pretty good. This was like a 3.5. And they were working at a lightning pace. They started where they got attacked before the bell by Uno and Grayson. And it was just, the Young Bucks also pulling more solid ratings between this match and the segment, with the Legends. This was really good, and they ended up getting a flash pin on the Dark Order. Any thoughts about this one, James?
No. They have obviously good chemistry together, but I don't know if it's because they weren't given another 5 minutes to kick into another gear, or if it was just super duper hot or whatever else. But whatever the reason, it just stayed parked in a certain level. I wouldn't say it was a bad match by any means. It was a good match. It wasn't a great match, or even a match I would even call very good. It was just a good 3.25-3-star match, which is I don't know if it's because there's so much wrestling, or because so much of the wrestling looks the same, because all these shows are running out the same buildings. But I feel like we're kind of in this at least from my perspective, regardless of whatever people do outside of talking segments, it feels like I'm kind of watching the same things over and over and over again, to an extent. But yeah, they all worked hard. It was a good match. It just something was missing, like you said, and I felt like that throughout the whole show. Especially in the main event. We'll get to that.
So MJF was backstage. Oh yeah. I'm gonna ask something. When we get there,
okay.
I'm not gonna ask something. I'm gonna decree something.
Okay.
So MJF was backstage. He was making his way to the ring. He did a callback from when he walked backstage with Samoa Joe in NXT. That was a little Easter egg for everybody. The announcers previewed the rest of the card. They went to a video package about, they were asking Hangman and Kenny who their favorite tag teams were. Kenny said the Young Bucks, of course, were his favorite team. And then Hangman was wondering, he's like, well, what about us? And then Kenny was like, we're singles guys. And, just more, stuff between them. MJF ended up coming out.
I was saying Heyman's the emo cowboy. Yeah. Like, his feelings were really hurt because he didn't say that because Kenny didn't think that they were a better tag team than them. And it's like, it's like, is that plus it's like, he doesn't like the Young Bucks. It's like, whatever match you're going to have is going to have a lot of stuff and detail involved in it, that we're eventually going to get, but without conflict, really, which is not really what Hangman does, like without conflict being brought to him from like, Matt Jackson, for example, going into Revolution, like, I don't really find the Hangman, like, the emo stuff in the passive aggressive stuff, like, endearing to me or particularly compelling, but it works for other people.
Yeah,
really,
I was gonna say,
really
like,
it just does it for me.
he's for the he's for the young folk. Like,
I wouldn't even say that. Also, another thing that also gets like annoying for me is like, how many times do I have to hear Jim Ross talk about Scorpio Sky and Hangman being great athletes for their size when like Kenny is a better athlete than both of them and is bigger? How many times do I have to fucking hear that?
I mean,
does that not get annoying to you? Because it gets annoying to me.
I'm not going to argue on that, but I think that's just a part of the packaging for Heyman. Like, he's this rugged, hard hitter. Like, he's like Magnum TA and Stan Hansen or something.
I understand that. But what is it about this one line that he throws in every other week about Hangman? But like, about his size, like, he's 205 pounds. What do you mean his size? Like, his thing. And then, because, like, what? Yeah. Like, it frustrates me because it's like, his tag team partner is literally bigger than him and is a better athlete than him, and then watch him have to watch them be in tag matches every other fucking week. And like, one guy's clearly the superior athlete. And you're talking about the other one. What are you doing, Ross?
Look, that man's decided that Hangman is a cause of his. Like, I ain't never heard him. Like, I mean, he's put over Kenny a lot, but
yes,
like,
he clearly
it's not.
Like, that's what he should do. Like, you don't need to get over Kenny Omega like as much as you need to get over Hangman. You can watch them two in the ring and see that one is like, the way they position the whole thing. This whole entire thing is meant to get over Hangman, and it does work splendidly. Right? Like, pay no mind to the stuff I say about, like, what I think of his character. When they're out there in the ring and they set up these hot tags, his hot tag is great. I'm not trying to take anything from Hangman as far as in the ring. And then I say but, right? I would say, however, this one thing, like, grates on me because it's like, it's not the first time I heard it, or the second time, or the third time, or the fourth, or the fifth. He says it all the time. Oh, he's been
saying it, yeah.
And it's like, how come no one
he gets mad when Hangman does, like, that moonsault.
Yeah. He's like, you're taking a risk, kid. And it's like, I understand how he feels about it, but it's like, I like everything he does about or around Hangman because you talk about the ruggedness because he's a cowboy, and like, that's something that we've talked about this with Ross. Like, Ross has to sit down with some of the young guys and find these traits of people out of people that he's, gotten over commentary in the past. And the first thing we talked about was like, with Moxley and Heyman was like the ruggedness of Austin. Like, show him an archetype he's done before. He can just pull that out just off of muscle memory and go with it. And he's done that very well with those two. But It's just one thing that they keep saying is like, this one needs to be taken back behind the
woodshed.
I'm sorry, no, back behind the convenience
Daly's
mart.
place.
No, back behind the convenience mart and shot. That one needs to just go. So I'm sorry, I spent too much time talking about this, but so continue.
Yeah, they don't really have much else to say about Scorpio Sky either, but
great athlete, just a great athlete,
elite athlete.
Keyword athlete.
Perhaps the best in AEW.
Yes, perhaps. Except for the fucking Kenny Omega guy that's right fucking there on every show while Scorpio Sky is shown on the fucking TV on Dynamite like once is it even once a month?
No. So MJF cut a promo from the ring behind his podium. He ripped on Moxley. He said that we deserve a better champion. He called Moxley an idiot, told him he was scared of MJF and he wasn't there because of the assault last week. And then Moxley music hit, and then MJF sent, the squad up through the Voms, which was fucking hilarious because he sends these people all the wrong way. Right. Essentially, Moxley runs in, fucks him up, gives him a paradigm shift. Then Moxley goes backstage. Tony Khan's hanging out in the background and shit, just looking over like. Yeah,
first he starts looking into the through the TV screen, the monitor he has, and then like once like Moxley gets going, he like gets so compelled by the energy that he's like basically takes a step back, crosses his legs and arms, and folds his arms, and just like looks at it like, God damn, this is good. I thought that was funny. He actually went from like I'm doing this TV show to like I'm actually a fan. Like I thought that was fun.
So Moxley cut a promo. He said if MJF thought they were even now, he's mistaken, and more punishment was going to come at All Out.
Yeah.
Another, I like this segment.
Yes, I did. I did too.
I thought it worked. Like MJF was awesome, and Moxley was like even better.
Yeah. I don't know what it is, but these last two promos, I just don't like the material that MJF is saying. Cause it's just like there's not even a hint of truth in any of it. Like when he comes out there and says like, you want me to lay down for you, John? I'm like, oh god damn, the fucking Booker Man stuff. Like, Jesus Christ. But like he delivers it so well, and then like he laid down on the mat, which like
that was a cool visual.
Yeah, the use of the camera was cool or whatever else. But like, what I really do like was the idea of like, he always comes from, he still thinks he's in the fucking Shield. He keeps coming up from the crowd, go out to the crowd, and he actually this time comes out and then gives the DDT, and like MJF sold DDT just like the biggest sucker. He's like, oh, my neck. He's like, as if he's gonna, he's gonna show up in the neck brace next week. That's how badly he sold it. And I thought like,
oh yes, he definitely is.
Yeah, like he sold it so well, that I was like, you know what? Like, I don't like what he's saying in the promo, but like, the delivery is done so well, and the way he just put over that dude's, finisher, and like the part where like, my MJF is smart, but the smart guy also got outsmarted by the good guy. Like, I was like, I thought that was well done. I thought it was well done.
Yeah. Apparently he started a petition to have the paradigm shift banned. Like there's a change.org thing going around right now. I believe the AEW Twitter account had shared it or whatever, but so that, like, look forward to that getting brought up at some point. So Alex Marvez was with Matt Hardy. He basically, they replayed Sammy Guevara busting that head open with the chair. He said he's alive. He's not going to die. He said he's not going to be cleared until the next Dynamite, which is next Saturday. So Dynamite's moving this week. So Hardy said he can't wait to get his hands on Sammy and make him bleed. And I'm thinking that this is going to be some type of death match or cinematic match. Actually, they're probably not going to do a cinematic match because he's just regular Matthew Hardy now. So they're going to do some type of death match at All Out, I would imagine.
He attacked the ref because he thought he's wearing a hat backwards, so he thought it was.
Yes, I forgot about that.
Thought it was Sammy, which is like, they said they were going to have a match on Saturday, but after that happens, like, he has to be suspended, given the times they suspended anybody of color that's put their hands on the ref. So, I expect them to hold up to.
They got Hager out of there too for that.
Oh, okay, I forgot about. Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, so everybody, every time they ever touched the ref, someone's gotten out there, whether it was Swole or whether it was Nyla, and now I forgot about the Hager one, but yeah, that too. So it's like he needs to be gone as well, and that's probably how to get themselves out of it to All Out or whatever. We'll see. I'm not particularly interested in this match. I'm just not, but whatever.
I am because I know Sammy Guevara is going to do some crazy shit. So,
well, I'm still trying to figure out like what kind of match is it. Like, I need to know what kind of match. Is it going to be a regular rules match? Is it going to be some like Hardy compound shit, or is it going to be like some stip match inside of the ring?
Cracker Barrel Clash. They need to go ahead and break it out for them and rebrand that shit. Like, you know, this year it's going to be the Cracker Barrel Clash. It's going to be Sammy Guevara and Matt Hardy.
But do you really, I know he did the one match with Darby, but do you really see, or actually he does the two spots during the two Darby matches, but do you really see Sammy as a no DQ hardcore guy? Because I don't.
He's a stunt man, and he's also crazy.
Yeah, he's a stunt, but you know, like, yes, he's a stunt man, so he can do the high spots, whatever else, but like, it's different than like, you know, Matt Hardy that is liable to pull out a fucking cheese grater or something stupid like that. You know what I mean? Like, it's a little
I think, you know, if you look at Sammy, like, you can call him a pretty boy, right? This will like
break man match.
This will make him be a tough man, like, and then of course he'll have to jump off some shit and, you know, whatever. But I'm always down for, you know, pretty boy, quote unquote, gotta prove it.
Yeah. I'm just wondering, like, would it actually work with him? Because, like, he's still gonna look how he looks after this match. That's never gonna change. Like, he still looks like a damn teenager.
Well, you know, you got to try first. So,
yeah.
So we got the TNT Championship match up next. We got Mike Chioda in the ring as the referee. James, when you saw Mike Chioda come on the screen, what did you think of this?
I literally typed into the thread like, Mike Chioda, fuck these niggas up. I was irrationally happy to see a familiar face. Like, you know what it really was? Is like, everybody in the AEW, like, ref roster, aside from Aubrey, I think is a fucking clown. Like, I feel like they get overran and pushed over in their matches, even though these are spots done in the match. But like, I feel like they make everybody to be a fool except for Aubrey, like, especially Rick Knox in these tag matches. God bless him. But he looks like he's always lost and confused, doesn't know like whose legal man is, and like, and never, like, he feel like he's just there to count a pin. That's what he feels like. Like, rules? What rules? I'm here to count a pin. But
Rick Knox enforces the rules on BTE.
Like, bro, he be looking so fucking confused all the time during, like, Lord, dude. When's the last time he did a Lucha Bros match?
Bro, he did the Big 8-Man from a couple weeks ago.
Oh, well, that's a free-for-all. I mean a traditional tag match. Like, look.
I had to look it up.
It's not that bad for him in that match because any ref is gonna get lost in, like, in all of that, right? Like, there's no ref that's gonna rein in 8 people. You don't have enough eyes, you know, to deal with that. But, like, when it's just 4 people, it's even more glaring of, like, dude, what are you doing? But yeah, Kyoto, another ref, or whatever else that we know is good at the job, so, like, cool.
I don't know if he's officially signed or if it was just an appearance, but okay. I would probably count on him coming in.
Okay, well either way, I don't think that they will embarrass Kyoto in the way that they like will embarrass Knox or Rimsberg at times. So it's like I'm perfectly fine with Kyoto there. Or doing some matches here and there, or whatever the situation is. I was happy to see him.
So we have Cody versus Scorpio Sky. Cody comes to the ring with 6 managers, James.
6
That's
managers?
right.
Specifically managers?
That's right. Dustin, Brandy, Allie, QT, and 5. Sorry. I got it mistaken. He comes to the ring with all of them, and they're holding the big flag or whatever. And I'm just like, bro, how many people you gotta bring out here for this shit, bro? Like, what the fuck? Like,
hey man, he brought his fight camp. It's okay.
I'm like, bro, man, like, let that shit go, man. Then Scorpio kicks the door down and comes out. Scorpio's got, of course, all these wins for weeks and weeks and weeks on AEW Dark. Called his shot on there. Then they have this match. Match is okay. I wouldn't say it was great. I wouldn't say it was bad either. It was a good match. Cody won clean after 11 minutes. I felt like they could have won a little longer. I like, the pace of it and all that. I think it just should have went a little longer, and I think that it should have just went to a draw, but they threw that whole thing away, and I was not happy about it at the time. I believe even Floyd was not happy about this at the time. One thing that really got on my nerves was, like, Bret Hart always tells this story about his match with the British Bulldog in, SummerSlam 1992.
About him being high on crack the night before?
Not that part. Okay. But, yeah, that part is there for those that want to know.
Bret, I'm fucked.
I'm fucked. But after the match, so Davey Boy obviously doesn't remember anything. So Davey Boy was supposed to look at Bret in the eye after the match and, really get that moment and milk it. And everybody was supposed to cry, after they look each other in the eye. Mm-hmm. But Davey Boy Smith is, so caught up in winning the title, his wife, 80,000 people in Wembley Stadium. This motherfucker forgets to look at Bret Hart, and Bret Hart is furious. He's like, this fucker won't even look at me, and he blew the fucking moment or whatever. So when I saw Scorpio Sky and Cody at the end of the match, and then the Brody Lee video just starts, I'm like, they didn't even get to stand up and look each other in the eye or nothing. It's just 1, 2, 3, we beat you, fuck out of here.
Right.
I didn't like that.
Yeah.
I didn't like that, and I know I might have
Scorpio's
you might have seen me.
Mark Quinn,
right? And it's
boy. Yeah,
he's not a young boy. He's a guy in his prime, the prime of his career. This was the first time the belt actually felt like it could change hands, so I'll give them that. But and I know that they try to steal every second they can on this show for whatever reason, but it was just really, Brody Lee's immediately cutting a promo it's a pre-tape, or how the fuck did he get the belt? I don't know. I didn't like that part.
Yeah. I mean, this show had too much shit on it. And you know how I know they had too much shit on it?
The ending.
Right. They had to rush the fuck off air after they just beat Jericho. So it's there was something on this show that did not belong, that should have been moved on to next week or put on Dynamite or Dark or whatever else. They did not have enough time for the show, and that's what the byproducts is. We got to cut off whatever we were doing with Scorpio Sky immediately to move on, and then to the viewer it looks like he wasn't actually a somebody. So yeah, from that presentation standpoint, that did hurt. It undercut, what the work those two guys did, and I thought they had a good match. I wouldn't say it was a great match, but I enjoyed the match. I felt like they gave him something while he kicks out of his finisher. How much does that mean at this point, in 2020? I mean, Cody cosplay is an 80s cosplayer. It has to, I felt like for, in his mind, and for, they're sitting there well, my matches are 80 ass matches. If you count my finish, that's a big fucking deal. I think they're going to get a second match. I think they're going to get another title challenge. I think, and I think, at that point, that could be the real time where it's for real this time. He's actually, I think there's actually legs to this where you can actually get him on Dynamite, not fucking Dark, but Dynamite, and have him, win in front of people and get a reason to actually care about him. And I thought this could be a good first step. I know you and Floyd thought that the belt could change here, but I just I didn't feel it because I don't watch Dark, so it's he's been doing this stuff, but in my mind I'm not on the show that they even bother to fucking recap half the time, so it's I don't see that happening. But I feel like if they're playing this, who now set the course for it, then I feel like this is a good first step.
So what would you do with Scorpio immediately? Because I I can easily think of an opponent right now that really ain't been up to much. That's been, just.
Are you going to say Kazarian?
No. I was going to say Lance Archer. So somebody's just been hanging out and,
that's one of those ones where it's like, do you really want to beat either one of them?
Or maybe you have them, get involved with like Ricky Starks and Brian Cage or something like that.
Ricky Starks, yes, because I feel like you can beat Ricky Starks. Cage, I don't think he should be like Scorpio, Cage, like pretty much everybody that's ranked in the top 5 except for MJF. It feels like all those guys that they have ranked up there with nice little records that have had title matches and have lost their challenges. It feels like those are guys that was like, I don't know where there's a neat, obvious fit on the pay-per-view card, but I could see you putting them in some, highly build match, like on the go home show or on the come down show or after the pay-per-view. But I don't know where they fit on the card. Like, the men's division, because of how strong their tag team stuff is, like when it comes to pay-per-views, like you kind of have to put two tag matches on the card no matter what. So then that leaves after that, like, all right, Jericho's gonna have a match in some way, shape, or form. And then you have the 2 title belt matches and the women's match, and it's like, all right, where are you if you're as an upper mid card man? You kind of like, where does that fit? Like, I don't know how to get Darby on this next pay-per-view card.
Yeah, I think he's gonna fight. Like, I would think it'd be Brian Cage, right?
I imagine so. But then it's like, all right,
you do that as a Cracker Barrel class,
right?
Too.
So you do that, right? All right, so you do one of those matches. And it's like, okay, so then like,
oh, people are gonna be left out.
I feel like maybe they do a dope ass match on the pre-show. Maybe that's what it is. But like, unless outside of that, like, this seems like. That's not necessarily a bad problem, but like some of the stuff's gonna have to be like, second from the top or second most important match or most important match on a Dynamite.
Yeah,
like, put somebody in the main event and see what they do.
Like, it sounds like they need to either add like more like secondary like Clash of Champions type shows or some type of special events, because like their roster is outgrowing the 4 pay-per-views a year thing quickly.
Yeah. And,
like, I know everyone likes to get so protective, like, oh, we don't want to end up with a pay-per-view every month, but like, I mean, you could do one every 2 months, like, rather than every 4 months, but.
I would like it if they did have, a Fight for the Fallen, or their Clash of Champions level stuff. If they had 4 of them, and they were all basically like in between pay-per-views and like a perfect fit, like it would make it easier for them to get destination stuff, be able to get stuff that maybe not as would be fighting to get on the pay-per-view, but we can get it off here, and then you don't have to like feel like you're building forever to get to a thing. Like, I feel like the perfect build is like that WrestleMania build, where it's like you go kind of like from after Elimination Chamber and you just go like, or actually for after kind of like after Royal Rumble to WrestleMania, where you kind of like have like 10 weeks or whatever else. And then like, you kind of have an idea where you're going, and then after the pay-per-view, boom, then you go like, it's like 6 weeks of like really building, and like that 6 weeks is like the good part of the WrestleMania season. Like it feels like it's too far out, because like at times, like, they do it pretty well. NXT at times has in the past done it well, but it's just really hard. It just is, like, to get to a card and fit what you need to fit in to get it, to not feel like it's lifeless and you're going through the motions. Like, luckily we had the Moxley goes through all of Inner Circle, or most of all of Inner Circle to get to Jericho.
Right.
But that's one example, but like for the most part, it kind of feels like they're wrestling to set up a few matches in like 5 weeks, and then what outcomes of that lead to the actual pay-per-view at times. And then, like, I'm thinking of the Hangman, Cody and MJF thing, and it's like, God, that felt like it took forever to get to it, didn't it?
Because they didn't really start it until the new year started.
Right. But it's like,
they punted, it feels like they punted like the first like 6 weeks of it.
Right.
Like they had them doing like, oh, well, you're going to fight the Butcher and the Blade and, stuff like that. Which,
side quest shit.
Stuff like that. But like, as far as the actual build, like, but yeah, I see what you're saying. So up next, we had the World Tag Team Championship match. Kenny Omega and Hangman Page defeat Luchasaurus and Jungle Boy. And Marco Stunt was the manager. This was okay. This wasn't, this needed like a crowd badly. This is all right. I didn't think it was like, super or anything, but they ended up getting the pin on the Jungle Boy. There was a lot of stuff with Kenny slapping the shit out of Marco Stunt and dragging suplexing people all over this fucker. Yeah. Besides that, like, yeah, it's just like just another match. It seems like they've cleaned out the division.
I was just about to ask you that. In a different question. I was going to ask you, because of the existence of FTR in recent memory, like in the last like month or whatever, does it feel, or 6 weeks, does it feel like Hangman and Kenny are like just too OP for the contenders, like from the rest of the division? It feels like they're way too overpowered. And I don't mean in a bad way, just like they booked them very well, and now they have basically ran through that whole entire thing, and like the only people
like Private Party, Best Friends, these guys, like but they never, I don't think they really got in there with like Proud and Powerful or anything like that. They never no, they never got in with those guys.
Okay. Well, I mean, they beat
I think they beat everyone else though.
Well, yeah. What I was gonna say is like if Santana Ortiz end up beating Best Friends, that could put them in, put them in the driver's seat to, get a title shot down the line if Hangman and Kenny are to survive whatever they're dealing with pay-per-view wise upcoming. I think the road stops there, but if they survive longer, there is one more match, at least.
I think All Out is the time to flip the belts off of those guys. Like, it's been admirable what they've done, but it's just like, all right, we get it. Like, like we ready. Like, FTR or the Bucks can take it from here. And what do you think this triangle match they're going to do? Because like,
is it going to be a triangle match, or is it?
That's what it feels like. I don't know, but I would prefer just a standard tag team match, because I'm just burned out on triple threats, and especially triple threat tag matches. I really don't know what to make of those. If anyone can do a great one, it's those guys and FTR. But I don't know. That's a weird match. Like you're putting the Bucks and FTR in the ring already, and it's not the feature attraction. So I don't know. I would prefer if they just dropped them directly to FTR, and then the Bucks got their own match against somebody else on the show.
I would prefer that, but you kind of looking around and you see where we are, kind of getting to last call, it's kind of like you're looking around and it's like, well, I can't say that. I was about to say something real lewd, but I'm about to say something involving like some shit is like, nah, I ain't never felt that way. What the fuck are you talking about, James? So no, I'm not even about to say that, because I was just like talking out of, because I'm half asleep right now, and I was going to say something like, wait, what? Excuse me? But no, I think that is getting late in the game to try to find like a dance partner for the Young Bucks if the Young Bucks aren't in this title match. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, I didn't really think about it until you brought it up, but yeah, it might just be where you're looking like, well, where else would they go if it wasn't a triple threat match? So, yeah, I can see that now. I didn't think about it, but yeah, I could definitely see why you think that. Yeah.
So up next, Santana and Ortiz cut a promo in the locker room. They dragged the best friend's shit into the shower and poured bleach on their shit and said it's only going to help your gear out. Shit was funny. I still think they're going to fight on TV.
I do too.
So after that, we got the tag team appreciation segment. The Young Bucks and FTR are in the ring with Arn Anderson, Tully Blanchard, Ricky Morton, and Robert Gibson. Matt cut a promo to the Rock and Roll Express with the original Bucks and set the standards for the Rockers, the Hardys, and the Bucks. Dax then put over the Rock and Roll and Arn and Tully for setting the standard that allowed him to provide for his wife and daughter. I loved all of this shit. It was just awesome to see like the parallel kind of, young and old teams across from each other. Ricky Morton cut an awesome promo. And he put over the FTR and the Bucks and kind of leaned towards the Bucks way. Arn then got on the mic. He put over the Bucks, but he said the FTR is the real best. And then Tully was tired of all this. Yes. We are the world bullshit.
Stop. I remember when he grabbed the mic and he said, "Y'all feel well? Can I do the Tully, please?"
Sure.
He more or less gets on the mic and he's like, "Well, aren't we all feeling real proud of ourselves? Even though, we talk about who's the best. Tom Brady's the best. He's won more titles than everybody. What is there exactly to celebrate? I see no titles around the waist of no tag team inside of this ring now." And I was like, yes, everybody's being unpleasant. But Tully has said, "I've had enough of the cap shit. I'm gonna say what's real. Y'all out here feeling bad. Y'all out here, patting each other on the back. Meanwhile, somebody needs to go out here and prove who's the best, and neither one of y'all are the best. What is there to celebrate? How come Kenny and Heyman are out here? Why are we not around some real winners?" He didn't say all that, but he should have said that. That was the energy he was bringing. Am I wrong here?
Yeah. It was like, Tully was like, "I'm not on this We Are the World shit. Like, I'm with the smoke." Like that's what Tully Blanchard brought to this segment, the smoke. He said he had a problem. I really
want to say this shit will not draw. We need tension.
So he said he had a problem with Arn for a year, so they referenced that old shit, long-term storytelling. He said, "I don't even know what the hell this is," and he pointed at the Nightmare Family logo. He's like, "You're hanging out with Cody." He said, it damn near looked like he wanted to tell Arn. He was like, "You out here selling your soul, like laying down with the Rhodes, like." And then he said, "You interrupted my guys' match at All Out," and then, he said, "I don't even know what this shit is about." And then Arn was like, "Well, I see how this is gonna go."
Oh,
as he sees Shawn Spears coming out. Then, after that, they did like a kind of pull apart away from FTR, but FTR was in the back. There was some type of commotion.
It was a commotion because either Gibson or Morton socked Tully in the jaw, and then it was a scuffle. And they trying to break it up. Bald tweaks his knee again from the injury from 2 weeks ago.
He faked his knee injury.
Well, I mean, he's been wearing that knee brace since he was in WWE. But
he took the brace off.
Okay. Well, yeah, I get what you mean. Like he's sucking him, and then
yeah, I'll let you finish. And then, Dax is over there on the ground, and then Cash comes up to him like, "You ready?" And then the Rock and Roll's in the ring with him, and they bash Ricky Morton upside his goddamn head with the knee brace, and then give him the spike pile driver, and the Bucks are 20 feet away, so they can't get there in time to save him. Super pile driver, hell of a bump for Ricky Morton, and I want to see FTR versus Rock and Roll on Dynamite before All Out.
Well, I mean, we kind of wanted to see. In my mind, when this happened, I was like, so they're doing another someone beats up Ricky and Robert on behalf of the Young Bucks. They did this back in November, but I wouldn't mind seeing, one of these teams that do the next time they do this, if they do it again in the next year or whatever, like them have the match and then like eventually like the Rock and Roll Express on Dark, not on Dynamite, on Dark, have a rematch, have a revenge match, whatever else, and then they get sent off or whatever else and lose for heat to build towards whatever's going on with whatever heel team is fighting the Young Bucks. I don't know if I would like to see that sometime in the future, but I don't want to see them on Dynamite.
Oh,
because I think it will not draw.
It doesn't have to. Like, this is like.
So now it's okay for shit not to draw. Okay, right?
Well, the thing is, like, it will have interest. Like, if FTR wrestles the Rock and Roll Express, like that's like
for the over 50 crowd. That would be NXT finally in the demo.
I think when they were teaming up with Hiroshi Tanahashi in New Japan, that was a thing. People wanted to be there and see that shit. Like,
but that's Hiroshi Tanahashi.
But FTR is literally the guys they used to wrestle in the 80s or whatever. They're them. Like, that would be like you do a 5-minute match or whatever with them and let them run or do whatever and tell them to shrink like a Southern style tag down into like 5 to 7 minutes.
I mean,
and then destroy them at the end and have FTR win.
Look, I saw the Rock and Roll Express wrestle. Was that last year? When did they have that match against Alvarez and in Lawler? Was that last year or was that 2 years ago?
I think it was like 2 years ago. 2 years ago.
Either way, like, and they still do the NWA stuff, like, they can still go 10 minutes if they need to. My thing is I'm worried about, like,
then you have the Young Bucks manage them.
Like, okay, I feel like it could work if and only if you build to it over like 2 or 3 weeks and not as like some one-off thing you're doing. Like, if you put over that, like, and I mean, like, video packages, interviews, blah, 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 all the stuff to build, like, a big match, I feel like it would do fine on TV. But if it's just like, oh, they beat them up, and then, like, they're off TV, like, the next week, and then, like, the next week they show up and they say, we want a match next week, and, like, so 4 weeks after the beatdown, like, I don't think that would just, I don't think that would actually do anything for them.
I think they would have to express like the Bucks would have to be like, we want to fight them on your behalf, and be like, no, like, we don't need y'all to fight our battle. We can fight them. We're still active. We can run it with them, and then they get their ass fucking like it's fucking drilled essentially, and then it's like, oh shit, like the Bucks really got to step in and fight these dudes.
And there might be a thing where like they haven't played that card because like they don't want to necessarily write them off, quote unquote, of TV yet, because once you whoop their ass, you can only get one out of that. You can't get a bunch of that out of that, right? So,
right.
They've been judicious with it, which I appreciate.
Yeah, I thought this was brilliant, that angle. So, like, I don't know where it's all going, but I hope it's going to a match. So Marvez was backstage with Kyoto, and Jericho came in. Jericho basically said he saved Kyoto's job 18 years ago, and he wants Kyoto to call it right down the middle tonight. Wink, wink. Mike Kyoto said he was going to call it down the middle. Jericho said when he gives, the signal, he needs him to call it down the middle, and maybe he'll get a job at AEW. So we had the Butcher and the Blade.
Hold on. We're not going to skip past Jericho in this backstage segment. I'm talking about how his jacket gets progressively oranger every single week in a fucking inexplicable way. Like, first off, why haven't you watched this thing? I thought you had money. Like, look, is Jericho?
No, he doesn't, James. That's why he was wrestling for the $7,000. He needed that.
No, that's because Jericho's a dick because he's an asshole. Like, that's different. That fits the aesthetic of, look, I may be rich, but you're gonna pay for this because you did this to me, and I'm a jerk, and I'm gonna make, or whatever. I'm okay with that. That makes sense to me. That tracks. But the part where like the jacket gets like, you ever seen concrete that's like concrete that's by a sprinkler system, and like over time as that non-regular water keeps hitting that same concrete and the sun keeps beaming down on it, all of a sudden that shit turns more and more orange over time. Like, that is exactly what's happening to Jericho's jacket. It's fucking inexplicable. Like, Is there a sprinkler system hitting this fucking jacket every single week? What's going on here?
It's like the spray tan is like, it's like the man wore it sprayed down with that joint on.
I fully expect next week for that man to show up wearing a Donald Trump face coat. not what he's been wearing that gets oranger every single week, but literally like it is a screenshot of Trump's face superimposed over his entire jacket, and he just plays off like it's the same jacket. What?
Yeah. Well, what are you looking at? So up next we had Hikaru Shida versus a wrestler named Heather Monroe. I had never seen her, but she impressed in her short time. This is a squash. Shida basically got her out of there with a stretch muffler, which I don't believe she previously used. Says she's ready.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen her do that in America, but yeah, or in AEW America, whatever. Yeah, it was a squash match.
So All Out, Shivani said All Out's coming. She said she's still waiting for a challenger to bring it on. So I would think it's either Nyla or some big free agent off the street. Those are my two predictions.
Okay, so if it is door number 2, who would you think would be in play for that?
I think that everyone that everyone's thrown out on Twitter, pretty much is in play. Like, and the only person that's not there thus far, like, they wondered about Nicole Savoy. She's already been in. Mm-hmm. They wondered about Rachel Ellering. She's been in. Mm-hmm. Taina Arkanti. She's been in. Thunder Rosa has not been in.
Okay.
So that would be my prediction.
Okay.
So, we'll see.
Yeah, let's see what they do with the Hikaru Shida Open Challenge. Let's see.
Then Jake Roberts was backstage with Lance Archer, and this shit was fucking nuts. So these jobbers decided to walk in front of the Murder Hawk Monster for whatever reason, and Lance Archer does not play such disrespect, beat their ass, and then all of a sudden Jake Roberts is wearing this shirt, and then Archer rips off the shirt, and a $200 shirt apparently, and it is Everybody Dies is painted on Jake's back for some reason. So I don't know why this happened, but it was fucking hilarious. I just don't get it. I didn't necessarily laugh. I was more confused. Like, what? Okay, so Jake is what, 6'6", 6'3"? What? He's tall as fuck. Jake tall as fuck. He at least 6'6".
Yeah, Jake's tall as fuck. Okay, yeah. All right, so that's the first time I think I've ever seen Jake be quote unquote bullied in wrestling. Because he pretty much bullied him. Like, take off the shirt. I don't want to take off the shirt. So he had to take off the shirt, and then you see the writing on his back, and it's like, so who put that on Jake's back?
Right. Did Archer color that shit in for hours? Like what's going on here? Yeah. What kind of relationship is this?
Yeah. That's kind of where I was trying to figure out. I'm like, we talk about legends getting embarrassed, and it's like they beat the shit out of the Rockwell Express, and then they out here putting stuff on
they drawing on
back.
Jake.
It's like, what, bro? I thought that was something to me. He ain't embarrassed his legends and shit like this. What is this?
This is all brand.
Yeah. I don't know what this means. I thought him beating up people backstage, he does that, but
yeah.
I just thought it was weird. I didn't think it was bad, but I just thought it was weird.
Yeah. So the Deadly Draw semifinals are on Monday. So we've got Big Swole and Nicole Savoy against Allie and Brandy, and then Ivelisse and Diamante against Taina Arkanti and Anna Jay. The winners will be on Dynamite on Saturday in the finals. So we'll see what happens there. But they announced FTR versus Private Party. The Elite meaning Kenny and the Bucks versus Silver Reynolds and Allen Angels. So that's going to be dope. The Deadly Draw final, as I mentioned, Darby Allin will be in action. Lucha Brothers and Butcher and the Blade are teaming back up against Jurassic Express and Natural Nightmares. So we get QT and Ray Phoenix in the ring together. So, men of similar abilities, going at it. Lucha Libre icons. Who else we got in there? We got Cody versus Brody Lee for the TNT title for Saturday Night Dynamite. So, yeah, big show.
I have nothing to say. After you said that shit about QT Marshall and Phoenix being of similar talent level, I just let the shit go. I'm gonna figure out I'm gonna see if he's gonna crack or break out laughing, or if he expects me to blow up in a rage or whatever else. Nah, bro, you got it. You got it.
Yeah, it's taken a while, but I see James has finally come around. So
no, I have not come around. I just think that it's such that you basically told me the sky was red, so I was like, I'm not gonna argue with this dude. Like, this dude know what it is. He's just trying to mess with me. He's not gonna harass me. I'm not dealing with this. I'm not putting up with it. So, I'll let you get your shit off, and hopefully we can move on.
So we got the $7,000 obligation match. Orange Cassidy gets the big victory over Chris Jericho. Chris Jericho mailed this shit in.
You think he mailed it in?
Yes.
I thought you were going to ask me if he was done as a great main event wrestler. I thought that's what you were really going to ask me.
Nah. I'm not going to go that far, but so you
really think this is some Ric Flair, Scott Steiner shit?
I think it was a situation where Jericho was probably getting pressured all week because obviously he played that concert. So he was people were blowing up his mentions. He was trending on Twitter. People probably within the company, I would assume, asked him about it, and it was are you going to pass your test? Yeah, you'll pass your test, but it's not foolproof. Essentially, I think he probably had a lot on his mind going into it, and he just didn't submit his best effort. He looked out of shape.
Oh, okay. So I thought you meant he had a bad match and he was sandbagging Orange Cassidy. Okay, you just mean
I think he just mailed it in. He was trying to set
when I think of mail in, I mean he don't give a fuck.
Okay, nah, I think he cares, right? But I think he just had a night where he was just an
off night.
Yeah, okay. Very off night.
Okay. Yeah, I think we might have to start having discussions about
his last match they had together was great. I loved that match.
Yeah,
but
right. And I agree. But as far as I guess what I'm asking is or not asking, I think we already know, can Jericho reel back and give you a 4-star 4.25 match these days? I don't think so. I think the best of Chris Jericho now is you get the 3 3/4 match now. I think that's where we are with him. I think that's where we are. I think that's where we are in his career. I mean, because it's pretty much that's pretty much what he's been pulling out on pay-per-view and AEW is 3 3/4 level matches. And that's not bad. It's that's I feel like honestly, if you get a 3, depending on the company, if you're in New Japan and you go 40 fucking minutes, that's another story. But if you tell the right story, you have the right, the right story or whatever else, you can get by with the main event being 3.5, and that's good enough. In my opinion, I feel like your undercard to be fire, but I feel like you can't say, oh, you gave me some shitty 20-minute 3.5-star match. I don't really think that's necessarily fair. And if you go longer than that, then you're on your own.
Yeah, I think some of it was I think he just was I'm not going to try that hard tonight. Maybe. I know a couple minutes ago I said I think he tried, but I don't know because it seemed like either it was ability that was stopping him or himself that was like holding himself back, because like there was just moves that like you would think Jericho would just be able to take in a fucking heartbeat, and he just wasn't. Like all the dragon screws.
Yeah, the dragon screw thing was a mess up. Like I mean, another thing with Jericho is like Jericho's still out here calling shit in the ring. Mm-hmm. And I think it's also you know,
they were probably rushing too.
Yeah, and that's another thing was like you're calling shit in the ring. And I don't mean just like tonight, like Jericho typically, like the Scorpio Sky match, for example, he was calling that shit in the ring with Scorpio Sky. Mm-hmm. Like that's, you know, that's his thing. He's earned the right to do it. But I think, you know, I feel like Jericho with the younger talent, and given the way they kind of do things, I feel like he'd be better off more times than not, just going with, you know, they come up with ideas, or maybe, you know, he's wrestled so long, chair shots to the head, maybe he can't remember none of that shit. I don't know. Yeah. But I feel like you would get better matches out of Jericho Sicily if they planned the shit out ahead of time before going out there. But, you know,
I think this came off flat, like the finish. And it wasn't the big win Orange Cassidy needed. If he needed to win, it needed to have the energy of the first match. I don't know really how much this did for him. In that sense, it's like, oh wow, he beat Chris Jericho, cool. But both Orange Cassidy and Chris Jericho, I don't know where you send either of them right now.
Yep, same here.
And you didn't do this at All Out. So what are both of these guys going to do? Are they going to do like a 6-man between them, like with Jericho and PNP against Orange Cassidy and Best Friends, and like some type of street fight or something?
I could see them doing a trilogy and have the trilogy at, what's it called?
All Out.
Yeah, like what else can they get to fast? What else could they get to in this amount of time to get to that? Like, that's the beginning of September.
Yeah, they have to figure something out. But
like AEW does not do for like top level feuds, they do not do we'll get it all done in 3 weeks. That's not their thing.
I know Pac and Orange Cassidy got booked relatively quickly, and that was like the last match to get added to Revolution.
Right. And that wasn't a money match at all.
Yeah. But yeah, I was kind of disappointed in this match, and like Jericho overall, like it was like, man, I would have think you would have went harder, but I don't know. I think he had a lot that he was thinking about going into that match. I was really excited for this show, but I can't call it great, but I can't get too mad at it because it was still, you know, a good show, but I thought everything else, I literally thought everything on the show could have just been a little better.
Yeah, it was a show that I would describe as good, but did not meet expectations given the card.
Yep.
All right. I don't have I really do not have the stamina to go through all of NXT. I'm just going to go through the stuff that I thought like fucking sucked, and then because like the stuff that didn't suck, that there's really nothing really to mention aside from like the Io Shirai and Dakota Kai stuff. But basically, the show opens with Karrion Kross versus Danny Burch. Danny Burch was one of the people he murdered, that Kross murdered last week in retaliation for Keith Lee not fighting tooth and nail to get a match with a title match with Kross that Kross hasn't earned yet. So they bring out Burch. He throws him around. Burch gets a couple spots in, and he throws him around again and pins him. He's about to walk out the ring, or he's out the ring, and then out comes Keith Lee. Keith Lee has a contract in his hand. He says he's been begging and pleading for weeks, or all week long to Regal to get the match. You have the match. I've already signed the contract. Here's the contract. Slides it out the ring to Scarlett. He signs the contract without ever looking at the contract. Just looks, basically staring eyes through daggers through Keith Lee in the ring while signing the contract. Scarlett grabs the brief or the contract binder or whatever the fuck, or portfolio, whatever, kisses it, and then slides it into Keith Lee. Keith Lee lifts it up, opens it, and a fucking fireball comes out and hits him in the face, and he falls over and sells like bloody murder. And they keep the camera on him selling it forever. They don't go commercial break, which would have been a perfect time for going to commercial break. They sell it forever. They keep it on there forever. It's fucking ridiculous. The refs are coming out to look at them, not the fucking trainers or the EMTs that are nearby. And it just looks awful. And then what they do is, as he's going to the back and he doesn't want anyone to touch him, he's fucking angry, but he's hurt and he's blinded, but he's angry and he's moving around, but he can see because he's moving around, not running anything. And it's like, whatever. As it's happening,
bro, I saw this GIF come across the timeline and I was like, oh my god.
That's not the worst part of it. The worst part is the selling and how long they stayed on it. Like, they stay on him from what felt like the duration of what should have been a commercial break the whole time. The whole machinations of him getting from in the ring to get some help backstage, and then like they bring out Killian Dane and Drake Maverick, and they go to a split screen on the screen, Rich, like double picture, side by side. On the left is the champion. On the two side is Drake Maverick, who we haven't seen since he got fucking murdered, not take it back, since he, basically lost the feud and got basically, little boyed by, Santos. He comes out, then out comes Killian Dane. They rush for like 1 minute, they go to commercial break, and then they say that Keith Lee's been sent to the hospital, and then all of a sudden, like, Maverick and Dane go for like another 2 minutes, and then actually I take it back. They come out of commercial break. They show Keith Lee in the they don't show Keith Lee, but like he gets hauled off out the ambulance spot. The ambulance pulls off, and as they pull off, another car pulls in, and they get out. It's undisputed. They get out. So they cut from split screen to full screen. They go like 1 minute. Then all of a sudden, Undisputed comes in and clears the fucking ring like they're Braun Strowman or Kane. Like, we put this bullshit out in the ring. You're not supposed to give a fuck about it. You're not supposed to care at all. And then we're getting that bullshit out of the ring because we know you don't want to see it. And they own the ring, and then he cuts his promo on McAfee saying, I am the longest reigning NXT champion of all time, and at Takeover 30, I'm gonna whoop that ass. He literally said, whoop that ass. Like, 2 weeks after Keith Lee said he was gonna whoop that ass. It's like, this works for Keith Lee, that does not work for Adam Cole. Adam Cole would say, I will whoop your ass. Whatever. So, I'm trying to think what the fuck else happened after this.
Yeah, bro, when I saw that, I'm still on this flamethrower shit, and I'm like, what is this, man?
Watch.
Like,
oh, here we go. So then last week, like they El Legado del Fantasma kidnapped and whooped the fuck out of Fandango and Tyler Breeze, especially Fandango. They hurt his shoulder. So it is Santos versus Tyler Breeze. Santos comes out last with Wild and with Mendoza. He tells them, go to the back, I got this. He takes 80% of the match. At the end, Breeze gets one comeback. Those fuckers came from the back and immediately ran out. Got on the apron. He clears him off the apron. And then Santos beats him with his Michinoku driver finish. Calls him the Phantom Driver. And I was like, okay, so that's 2-0 matches in a row. I think they whoop on him some more, and then Outcast Fandango with an arm sling, they whoop his ass too, so there's that. Oh, yeah, until Swerve makes a save. I forgot about it. Swerve makes a save, actually. They're whooping on his ass, and those two actually make the save, and whatever. Basically, Swerve saves the day. They're going to have a triple threat match next week, and then eventually they'll get around to, probably on the go-home show or the night, or the weekend after SummerSlam, they'll finally do the Cruiserweight match. Mia Yim basically squashed Indy Hartwell. Finn Balor, he does a promo.
I heard about this.
He said something that
I don't care if you're 18 or 49 or in the nursery home.
That's what it
Everyone's watching The Prince.
That's
no,
exactly
man.
What he said.
Have you seen the ratings, Finn?
Right.
They are not watching The Prince.
Right. Like, he has fully diverged on from being like a hitman to this strategic, from turning on from being this strategic hitman type character that like knows what he wants, goes after it, and gets it done, to like being like exactly what you've complained about him being. Like, he's like, it wasn't like how you complained it to be, like when you just made it like, well, he's just one dimensional person that like says insidery shit. Like, now he actually is. Like, a month ago he was not this person, now he is. It's so fucking annoying. So
I'm gonna do all these shoot promos, brother. Like, yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
So McAfee
I like when MJF did it, but I don't know. I don't hit the same.
What shoot promos?
Like, well, I'm saying like if you're gonna do the insidery.
But the thing is, like, Finn Balor a month ago and MJF, like, they said one thing that like it wasn't like that's all he's doing.
Mm-hmm.
It was like there was actual substance to it. Like, this was like, it was like if like the character is. He's a hitman. He's basically a person that is like a thinker and is trying to take people apart. He's cerebral, and like he says one thing that might pop someone that's a you know a dirt sheet reader or whatever that knows vernacular, and like he says that from time to time. Like, now it's like he got main rosterized this week. It was like, nah, just say the line. Don't worry about the character. Just say the lines. Don't worry about the other stuff. Say the lines. All sizzle, no steak. Anyway, Mia Yim, Indy Hartwell. Indy was not good in this match. Mia was. Squash. So, let's see. Bronson Reed versus Damian Priest. Fun match while it lasted. Could have went longer. They're beating the shit out of each other with strikes. He goes up for his finish. Bronson Reed, he's gonna give him a big splash, but as he goes to give him a big splash, and he slipped off the ropes at the last second. And Priest was supposed to roll out the way, but he rolls out the way, but you know, Bronson Reed slipped, so he's short, so like his legs clipped him. So he has to no sell it or sell it very, very slightly, and Priest still gets up and keeps going. So he goes, he's about to go for his finish, and basically, he just rolls him up and gets a surprise win. So it was like, they're keeping the momentum going and still protected, Priest. I actually liked the finish. I thought it was like, yeah, like give the dude something. He can be beaten. It's Damian Priest, for fuck's sake. So after that, get a vignette from Dakota Kai, where she just gaslights you about like how good she is by saying that like she's done all this on her own, which is like, I watched the same TV show. I watched the TV show. Like, what are you talking about? You never fucking win unless someone wins for you. Like, you know, last week, you know, like, she said that she beat Rhea fair and square, and it was like, and then in the video package, like, they cut out the part where like Mercedes Martinez runs in and fucking clocks Rhea. It's like, it's like, can I get the heels to have like one shred of credibility to make you like, you know, think they're like, they're actual human being as opposed to like just fucking straw man person, whatever. So then we get Cameron Grimes. I gotta tell you, Cameron Grimes, like, I'm starting to like Cameron Grimes' character, which I never thought would have happened. Like, he's so annoying that it's funny. It's endearing. It's starting.
Bro, you know who he is? He's Adam Cole before they pushed him or whatever. Like, he's the guy that was underneath all those other dudes that was like making him look good, and he's a phenomenal wrestler. And he's who Adam Cole was when he was a North American guy.
I feel like he's more dynamic than Cole was in matches at the time. But I see what you mean. I never got the feeling that Adam Cole was annoying. I just felt like he was just a heel. With Grimes, it just felt like this fucking had that look. He has no credibility because he never beats anybody clean or beats anybody worth a damn clean. Like, he's just a guy that's doing the job. But he has good matches, so it's like, I respect, like, once the bell rings, people get into him, but like, his character sucked. Like, but he's doing these promos where he's just loud and country and annoying as fuck. And he's like, I'm going to the top of the moon, baby! Woo! Cameron Grimes! It is like, it's almost as if like, he is like, how can I be exactly what Vince McMahon originally thought AJ Styles was when he first heard him talk? Wow. And then, like, turn it to 11 and, like, do it in front of Triple H. Like, that's almost what the character is. So, but anyway, but he keeps saying his line. He has a new line because he said it, like, last week, too. I'm going to the moon. He keeps saying, I'm going to the moon.
Since he's from North Carolina, he needs to just say he's going to the front of the line. That somebody needs to get him this show. I'm Cameron Grimes. It rhymes too. I'm Cameron Grimes, and I'm going to the front of the line. North Carolina, go ahead and raise up. I believe that's like the second week in a row I've mentioned that.
I wasn't expecting that at all. Okay, so we're getting tag match between Mercedes Martinez and Aaliyah Single A versus Casey and Lacey, and it's more of the same. You see Casey and Lacey, and they
Lazy.
I'm sorry,
Casey and Caden.
Caden, you know, she used to be Lacey Lane.
That's right.
Yeah,
that's right.
Caden Carter. Yeah, Caden Carter. Okay, so why do I keep missing her name with a porn star? Okay, so you see them, they get the scraps of this division like they normally do, but like they're in there. When they're in there, they're very good. They have
how do they get any better doing this?
Well,
because bro, they've been doing this type of thing, and they show up like it seems like once or twice a month, or
once a month,
maybe like once a month, and then it's just like, oh.
Well, remember they used to be on the Largo Loop all the time.
Yeah,
you know, like we would see them like do the tag team stuff, and they were like, they're good, like legitimately good wrestlers, or whatever else. It's just like but right now in the pandemic, there's no house shows to be had. So you're right. Like right now in this situation, how are they going to get good? Like, but when they were doing, you know, house shows again, like 1 or 2 matches a week, you know,
yeah,
that was enough. But right now, like, especially given where we were looking at with this, like, they're probably better off never doing house shows anymore, except for special occasions. Like, maybe they keep the NXT house shows around because, like, that's essential.
Oh, they got to keep those.
But, like, main roster house shows, them shits need to go. Like, unless they're in, like, some special venue like Madison Square Garden or they're doing big cities, ain't no need to do that shit no more.
I think maybe you do, like, one a week. Maybe 2. Maybe each, like, brand, like Raw and SmackDown.
Yep.
Yeah.
1 per brand. That makes sense. I wouldn't mind that. But as far as, like, yeah, you know, you do, you know, you only at the house twice a you know, like 1 day a week or whatever else. That shit's gotta go. Fuck that.
Yeah.
Ain't no, for what? More money when we don't do house shows.
All right. And they're making all this money off the TV. Nah, man.
Right.
Switch the business up.
Yeah. And it need to be some senior type of thing where it's like the only people that like we might put one star on there to do like a house show like once a month. Like top level stars might do one house show a month. Like the big shows, whatever else. And everybody else is like from mid card down, like especially like the people that are freshmen NXT that aren't like vets, like or need to learn the system for the main roster system. Like those only people need to be on doing like the house shows on a weekly basis. So like the green people need more experience. Like the Lacey Evans types need to be Bianca Belair or whatever else. Trying to think who else this has got up recently. Who's caught up recently?
Matt Riddle.
Yeah, Riddle's the person like you go out here and you do the house show, that one house show a week every week or whatever else. But everybody else like that's a senior, been around like 5+ years, that sort of thing. Nah, stay your ass home. Yeah,
Mercedes with enough experience for all three of them.
Right. So basically, the match is like they more or less maul on Kayden Carter until she can get free to let Casey get the hot tag. She has a great hot tag. We've seen it before in person. And then at the end, I don't know if this is actually really playing off of months ago when they had a match, but like she basically cuts off Casey, throws her around, and then beats her with her finish. And then out comes Rhea. Robert Stone, Brand, Aaliyah, and Robert Stone, they get out the ring. They're desperately telling Mercedes to get out the ring, get away from her, let her have the ring. Mercedes is staring dead in there because she ain't scared. She's not a geek. They start throwing down. They end up in a corner brawling, and then Aaliyah gets involved, and then with Mercedes not realizing it, and then she ends up laying out Rhea. But Mercedes, like, it was done in a way where, like, she was getting help, but Mercedes never realized she was getting help. So keep that in mind. Like, I think she's gonna dump them too, which might play back into the stuff you were saying about, or not you were saying, Meltzer was saying about, it's Tony Khan and he can't, retain real clients or whatever else, or real services of real, players. So they did the fucking Johnny and Candice Gargano family stuff where they talk nice and then talking to camera and they do the effects or whatever else. What you get out of it is that they're actually about to go forward with Candice in what's her name? Candice and Tegan. They're going to finally pull the trigger on that. And Johnny was saying like, he has a match with Ridge Holland because out of that semifinal stuff of people that didn't get pinned in triple threat matches next week. Did you hear about that match, Rich?
Yes, I did. I actually got further inside information, which I will share with you off air.
Okay. Well, the story is that the match was already taped and that Ridge Holland threw Johnny and Johnny landed right on his fucking head. And they restart, and Johnny was good enough that they restarted.
So it was a power slam. It was a power slam gone awry.
He dropped on his head on a power slam.
Yeah. So I'll share the rest with you.
So he shouldn't be wrestling, right?
What was he? Dropped him on his dome?
He dropped him on his head.
Yeah.
They said drop him on top of his head off a power. And now you tell me it was a power slam?
Yeah.
That's kind of the one-on-one shit.
Yeah.
Anyway, Johnny was healthy enough to not only continue the match, but to start the match from scratch and redo it. I don't know the finish of it. I'll watch it next week or whatever else, or whenever it gets on. But yeah. So move on.
That's just Thatch Can Wrestling.
Yes. He is talking about how the single leg Boston Crab, actually, like he said, the name of this is adaptability. We'll go over this before. We talked about it before. The single leg Boston Crab, you use the blade of your forearm to dig into the Achilles heel. But if someone is nifty or whatever else, like what happened with him in the triple threat match with Finn Balor when he escaped, he turned into a ankle lock looking thing where basically he traps the blade against he basically grabs you in like an ankle lock position and traps the blade of his forearm against the and presses traps against his chest and squeezes from there to get the same type of effect that the single leg crab did. And he says it's all about adaptability. And the person that he was doing it to was wearing a Finn Balor t-shirt. Next week, Finn Balor was going to be in the semifinal thing against whoever did not win this match, which turned out to be Velveteen Dream. So something tells me that Velveteen Dream is going to be in this ladder match, and then on TakeOver we're going to have Finn Balor versus Thatcher, because after their triple threat match, Balor attacked Thatcher after the show, and they showed it last week that he attacked him after the show. And then you have this shirt thing. You know how to get down. That's a simple.
I don't even want to hear about no more Thatch can until he answers for getting submitted by Dexter Lumis. Like, how the fuck does that happen, Mr. Submission Man?
Well,
why are we still going back to this? Why are we booking Dexter Lumis to submit the fucking Thatch can shooter wrestler Timothy Thatcher?
Well, it was simply come from behind in a choke.
I don't care.
Rich, in real life, if you walked up on Brock Lesnar and caught him in a choke, he's fucking done. That's just,
why would they submit him? That's stupid.
I'm not saying it wasn't stupid, but I'm saying, like, logically, I wouldn't fucking do it, but like, the way they did it is like, okay, that's that, we come from behind. I wouldn't have done it, but like, whatever. I wouldn't have done it.
We need to get Loom Can submission wrestling in. You know,
because he put somebody in the check. Like, that's what they would do. Like,
he's really the baddest motherfucker.
You know what that sound like they would do? You know what that sound like they do? Like, they would do that to like a baby face under, like a upper mid card or mid card baby face that was like facing Angle back when Angle was like the wrestling machine. That sounded like something they would have done. Like, someone got the best of Angle. Angle would have been fucking 38 hot for like 3 weeks. Wanted to fucking tear that dude limb from limb from embarrassing him. And they'd be almost like, who was the dude that caught him in the key lock that wasn't tough enough?
Daniel Puder.
It's like if Daniel Puder had a feud with him for a pay-per-view feud, like after that had happened, where it's like, he came like, yeah, you gotta wrestle, Kurt. What? I'll kill you. Don't you ever say that to me again. Like, that seems like something they would have done, but no, they're not doing that. Anyway, so, it was Cameron Grimes versus Kushida versus a mystery, opponent, for the slot into the North American ladder match. Person comes out, Velveteen Dream. We haven't seen Velveteen Dream since he got beat at In Your House. And he was also part of the Speaking Out. You saw someone that was named multiple times in the Speaking Out stuff that came out months ago. So,
secret suspension.
What do you mean?
That's where he was.
Okay. So
apparently this investigation, the victim was never contacted. The victim has since came out on Twitter and confirmed this by WWE. So it leads me thinking, combined with what I already know about the situation, that there was no investigation that took place.
Well, even if there were, like, they weren't going to fire him.
Yeah. I hear this is a very unpopular thing with those in the locker room. Of course, you guys, if you check any comment section, people are not happy about this Velveteen Dream shit.
I mean, dude, him and Riddler are two of the guys who's like, nah, bro. Just no. I
don't know, man. Like this guy's super protected. Well, I don't know. What is it? Like, maybe they feel like they invested too much in him.
I don't know. But, like, it'd be one thing if, like, you know, he was as good as he was before the shoulder injury. Nah. Like, I would say this was the best match he's had since he came back, but it's like, he was at one point a very good wrestler that could have great matches with the right person and the right layout. I mean, I don't know what the fuck happened to that guy after that shoulder thing. Like he
ain't wrestling Tommaso Ciampa no more. He ain't wrestling Ricochet.
Johnny.
He ain't wrestling Aleister Black. He ain't wrestling Johnny Gargano. He ain't wrestling fucking.
But he was wrestling Cole though. He was wrestling Cole.
He was wrestling Cole, but Cole's thing is he makes the other guy look good. Like,
well, wouldn't that help for? Well, okay. All I'm gonna say is this. I understand what you're saying, but it has nothing to do with like your Shrikes looking like the purest of shit.
Well,
like,
I mean, look where he trained to wrestle.
It wasn't like he was some great striker to begin with, but like it was like embarrassing at one point. It's like, yo, this is
like that man's gone backwards from everything that I've gathered.
Yeah. But anyway, like this match was pretty good. Kushida's just like, God, what the fuck are you doing here? Like.
It's nice that he came out of mothballs.
Dude, like, Kushida comes out every fucking week, or not every time I see him, and I'm just like, he's just as good as he ever was. Like, which means he's still one of the very best wrestlers in the world, bar none. And it's like, what the fuck? Like, I don't know. Like, I was expecting, like, you know, the Cruiserweight thing's gonna lead to something. It didn't. They threw him in the trash that one time. I remember that. I forgot what the situation was. Basically, the end of this match is Grimes gets Velveteen out the ring and ends up pinning. I know what happens. Okay, so Kushida gets Velveteen in a Kimura and wraps him up, and he's basically selling like he's gonna have him pick him up and drop him. But he's just stuck in the spot, and he's basically bent over Velveteen with Kushida wrapped around the front of him. From the top rope comes Grimes with the double stomp onto Kushida. He basically, your boy comes to his feet, or Grimes gets to his feet and throws Velveteen out of the ring and pins Kushida. After the match, Velveteen goes to a rage, furious, and beats the fuck out of Kushida. I guess that's supposed to be a heel turn. And then out comes Finn Balor because he knows that like that Velveteen didn't get pinned, so it's going to be him, you know, next week or 2 weeks from now in a match. And it's like, so we're finally going to get in the match that we were told we were going to get back in, like, I want to say like May or mid-May, where they basically said that, you know, someone ransacked Finn Balor's room, or whatever else. So they finally got back to this match they've been trying to do for a few months. I look, if you come out here and have a shitty match with Finn Balor, I don't know what, in NXT, I don't know what to tell him. I just don't. Like, Finn Balor, even on the main roster, would always give you a technically sound, perfectly well professional, match. In NXT, he's coming out here and he's giving you a good match almost every fucking time. So if he has a bad match with Finn Balor, you know, I don't know what to tell him. First of all, I don't know what to tell him the fact he's on fucking TV anymore.
Yeah, I don't even feel comfortable with him.
Yeah. He shouldn't even be on TV, and then they're still doing this. Right. So it's like, whatever. Like,
you shouldn't even fucking be here. Like,
and then like, given what I tell you with the Thatcher thing, is like, so he's about to be on fucking TakeOver too. I don't know, man. I do not know.
Yeah, man. And Velveteen Dream, I heard he done dyed his beard blonde. Yeah. Like,
but he's had the beard blonde before, so it's like, you know, I just look at it more like when Cam Newton was doing that a couple years ago. Like, whatever, dude.
Velveteen Dream ain't no fucking Cam Newton.
No shit. But I'm just saying, like, y'all, this something, I guess. Y'all, good luck with that.
Well, when you get yours done, man?
I don't see my facial hair grows in fuller than theirs. I don't have like the small goatee
scraggly
at the bottom. Like I have a full beard.
You just got to do the whole thing. You know, just
the whole blonde beard, like the Kushida, like Kushida.
Yeah, the whole like Sonata.
I'm sorry, Sonata's one thing. I'm confusing Japanese men. See? Jesus Christ. Nah, I'm not doing that. I'm good.
No.
Oh, there's also a note. during the show, one of the commentators described Velveteen as the Dennis Rodman of NXT or of WWE, one of the two. I can't remember. And I was like, I feel like you're insulting Rodman right now. This feels like an insult to Rodman.
Yeah, look, I know that you think Rodman was out there and shit, but like,
he wasn't a pedophile.
Don't forget, yes, Rodman wasn't never on like. I hate to say it like this. Rodman was never like some type of gay man or alluding to be a gay man. Like, that man would wear a dress to fuck with you or whatever. Like, this is a Hall of Fame level athlete. Like, nah, man. Like,
I was just stuck on the whole part where it's like, nah, one dude's a pedophile, the other one's not. Like, just because they're weird does not mean, like, their weird is different. Their weird is totally different. Like, one is like, for the most part, unproblematic, except for, like, you know, working the professional sense. His problematic is like, yeah, he's ruining lives and damaging people's souls. Like, nah, bro. Two different things. Two totally different things.
If I'm Rodman, I'd be like, hey, bro, we need to, I need to have a conversation. We need to edit that shit off.
Edit that shit.
Edit that shit.
Oh, man. Fuck it. The only thing left, I think, is Stardom now, right?
I guess you just gotta hit the music.
Okay, so Night 3 got canceled because someone in Stardom that was not on the trip to Osaka for Night 3 tested positive for COVID, and they canceled the show at the last minute. They basically, you know, the talent was there, fans were in the building, and they canceled. The crowd applauded, they understood, which is good. I'm glad they didn't get shit for that, but you know, people have speculated on who it is. I have some ideas, and but I'm not going to share it. You know, we kind of speculated about Arisa back in the time when, you know, she got pulled seemingly like at random off of the, what was that, the No People Gate show. But yeah, at the time, like, there were tweets out there really talking about, you know, stuff revolving around her health. So, you know, I don't think we speculated about that online until after we found out, or in public until after we found out, like, you know, that wasn't the case. Mm-hmm. But yeah, you know, people are guessing, and like, y'all feel free to guess. I'm, you know, just hope, you know, that person's safe and none of it gets spread around. But it seems like they're still all ready to go for their big Yokohama shows next weekend. But yeah, we didn't talk about nights 1 and 2, so we can talk about them now. My first impression is that, like, Mayu is on a warpath to do anything it takes to get 4 stars out of generally anybody. She's out of her fucking mind. She might die. She bumps on her, like, night 1. She has a match with Julia. Julia ends up winning. That was a 4-star match. And then night 2, she has a match with Starlight Kid, and she, like, beats the shit out of Starlight Kid. She plays heel. She's just bullying her, kicking her back left and right, body slamming her on her bad back, working over her back, putting her in camel clutches and stuff. And then, like, Starlight Kid makes these comebacks where, like, you know, she's on the apron, she gets thrown into the rope, she goes over the top onto the apron, catches Mayu through the ropes, and then drops her on her head with a DDT onto the apron through the ropes. There's one spot I can't even fucking describe. It'll take me like 2 minutes to try to, like, get the brain capacity to describe it. Where she ends up I know what it was. She was going for a code red, she catches her from flipping all the way over, rolls her back up, and then Starlight Kid reverses it in a way to where, like, Mayu ends up on her head. Like, is like, it was a great match. I think it was Starlight Kid's best singles match, which is saying something because, you know, we both love that Suzuki high-speed match so much, but I thought this was it, and it went like 13 minutes, and, you know, it made you, this is like, you know, we talk about it, like, she is the ultimate babyface Starlight Kid, and she's in there with, you know, another great
ultimate babyface.
Right, and she's in there, and like Mayu's like just playing the bully role to get the crowd behind her, and it totally worked. I thought it was a great match. So she's had a great week so far, or start to the tournament. Trying to think who else from night 1 to cross over to night 2. Shuri's having a great tournament. Her first match was actually with Natsuko, and like Natsuko tried all of her bullshit and nothing doing. You're finna hold these kicks, you're finna hold these knees, you're finna hold all these arm submissions. You're not gonna fuck up my match. You're just not. Like, it wasn't a great match, but it was still a fun match. I gave it like 2 3/4, like, which is saying something for Natsuko when she's actually legitimately trying to have shitty matches. And then night 2, she's with Jungle in this, you know, great match. Very detailed on working over her Jungle's arm and shoulder. You know, she has a bad shoulder. And Jungle's fighting through it and finding ways to escape at the last second, but at the end puts her away with a third and final arm bar. Utami had a match with Jungle. In night 1, they had their normal match. It's 3 3/4. They just beat the shit out of each other. It played off of last year's, actually, where they both end up on the outside, where last year, Utami gave her a rack bomb Jungle right onto the apron. This year, Jungle returns the favor, gives her power bomb, her hammer throw power bomb right onto the apron. Looked like some Kevin Owens shit. At the end, Utami ends up beating her. And then in night 2, Utami's in the ring with Natsuko. Natsuko does the most cheating shit I've ever seen in a Stardom match. Like, this is beyond like when Kagetsu was around here with the mist or the water. There's the chain, there's chairs. She pulls out chairs. She jumps off the apron and splashes onto chairs that are stacked on Utami. I thought Utami had broken her arm at one point. Nice. She comes down to the ring with a chain. So you think she's going to use the chain that she brought. No, she's going to bring the chain down and then go underneath the apron and grab a second chain to use as well.
2 chains.
God damn it. There's a spot where she lays out the chain on the mat. I think after the ref has been thrown to the ground, like she's abusing refs. Natsuko is.
Suspender.
Yeah. Utami's crazy ass reverses out of whatever was about. Oh, I'm sorry. Normally what Natsuko does is she'll go and powerbomb you. Or not powerbomb you, but body slam you is what I mean. Onto the chain. She gets out of the body slam and then German suplexes Natsuko onto the chain. They're German suplexing each other onto the chain.
Boy. That sounds painful.
Dumb as fuck, right? So the match ends after Utami has thoroughly out-rustled her and all of her cheating, where she grabs a chain and she basically chokes her and basically like uses the ropes as leverage to further the choke, and the ref throws the match so for a fucking DQ. She took a DQ in a tournament, Rich. So, like I said, before we came back in at the end of June, before that happened, we had went all of 2019 and 2018 with only 2 DQs in all of Stardom. Since the end of June, when they came back on June 21st, Natsuko has 3 DQs. I don't want to watch her matches. I just don't.
Ruining the promotion.
Anyway, Momo had in night 1 wrestles Micah. They have a good match. Micah gets the victory. In night 2, Momo fights Azumi. I'm pretty sure you remember the match from last year in the Grand Prix. I think this is better than that match. It is outrageous how good Azumi is. You know, I talk about it all the time about, like, I think she's the future. Like, she's going to be awesome in, 2027 and shit. Like, nah, bro. Like, I feel like if she makes it to 2017 now, she turns 18, I think, at the end of the year. I feel like if she makes it to 23, she could be the best woman in the wrestling in the world. Like, when you see what she fucking pulls out in this match, like, all of her lucha stuff that she already does, and she does even more stuff, and it turns in, like, all this technical wizardry and shit is like, and, the Grand Prix typically is where, like, she takes the training wheels off and does the big bumps or whatever else. Like, you throw that in with all this stuff, and it's like, how the fuck is she not going to be, like, the best wrestler in this promotion, except maybe Maya, if Maya even can hold together long enough by the time she turns, like, 21. She's fucking incredible.
Yeah, last time I saw her wrestle, it was like, well, you already see it. Like, you can see it. Like, she hops to the top rope with ease, super smooth, lightning fast. I just think, like, once she, like, once she quote unquote grows into her grown woman body, I had to word that as delicately as possible.
I know what you mean, yeah.
But
especially, like,
yeah,
right,
like, she's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, and the crazy thing is, like, we all see it, but it's like, I feel every time, like, especially since we've gotten back, since June is like, because, Stardom is just flat out. I think that since, even before we got into this tournament, because, it's unfair, it's tournament play. I feel like the best promotion in wrestling in ring in July was probably Stardom. But that's besides the point. Like, we're at a point now where, like, all her matches at any time, like, are just at a certain level, and it's like, yeah, some of these are tags or whatever else, but, like, you're even seeing this in this tournament. Is like, she shouldn't be out here, or it doesn't make much sense that, like, oh yeah, she went and had a 3-star match with, like, Saya, who's been wrestling for a year, and like, and has the young girl office where one of the things she does is do drop kicks and chops. You know what I'm saying? Like, and the match went like 4 minutes or some shit. No, I think 7 minutes. I can't remember. It went short. But anyway, those two matches I think you need to check out. I know you haven't gotten around to it, but those two in particular, the Mayu match and this Azumi and Momo match, like, it's just, Jesus Christ, it's so, if they don't kill each other, they're gonna be great. Trying to think what else happened. Tam and Konami in night 2. Tam is selling her back from her loss in night 1 to Himeka, from getting her back worked over and beat over by a giant, and then getting racked at the end. Her back is hurt, just beat up to shit, and then she just does a great job of selling her back. Like, she sells her back better than Matt Jackson at this point. Like, she's really fucking good. Konami is now, like, she's in this thing where, she's, submission wizard, but now she's focusing on, like, trying to take people's necks out, to soften them up for, like, the final answer and everything. And, it just worked really well. It's a match I've been anticipating for a while. I've always, two of my top 5 or so favorite wrestlers in Stardom. So, they had a great match. I gave it like 3 3/4. But yeah, and this is like night 2 or these matches where it's like, all right, so, like, I think like 4 matches in a row are like, you know, 3 3/4 or 4 1/4. Like, and it's like 4 of these matches are like in 5 matches in a 5 match in a row set, and it's like, yo, what the? And this is night 2. It's like, yo, this is wild. Like, this is obviously like there's way more matches, but like if you just cut that out, like that's like a very great G1 night right there. Like those top 5 matches off this card is like, wasn't expecting this, but like this thing when they move the time limit from 15 to 20 minutes is like done wonders for like these matches feeling like full filled out matches as opposed to like, you know, they get 13 minutes to get their match in as opposed to like it would be 8 or 9. So yeah, it's been a great tournament so far. Right now, the point Utami's undefeated. She has 4 points. Himeka has 4 points. Shuri has 4 points. Like Shuri and Utami, like they meet in the final night. So it seems like
I thought it was at the end.
Yeah, they're setting that up. It seems like to start out the tournament. So that's cool.
I will be there.
Oh yeah, special note. I forgot to mention this. Like during the night 2 with this Jungle and Shuri, as Jungle is fighting back, Jungle puts Shuri on her back, does a top rope splash on her back, and then later in the match, like 30 seconds later, Shuri goes for one of her kicks, and she catches her, and she catches the kick, and she gives her a dragon screw leg whip, and then she puts her in her sharpshooter. I was like, yo, this is why I like Star so much, so efficient. It's like, I hurt her back one time, I hurt her leg one time. What finishing move works on the legs in the back? The sharpshooter, motherfucker, put her on it. I was like, I just love this show. I just love it. But yeah, they've had like 6 bangers already through 2 shows, and next weekend will be the Yokohama shows with a white belt rematch between Tam and Julia, red belt match between Shuri and Mayu. There's going to be a high-speed match between Starlight Kid and Nazumi. There is a special match where it's supposed to be Saki and Natsuko versus Konami and Jungle, where if Oedo Tai wins, TCS gets disbanded. I don't know how that comes into play exactly, but also other like highlight matches are they're going to do Himeka versus Utami somewhere on one of the shows. Momo on one night fights Julia, and then on the next night fights Mayu in exhibition matches. So this machine is going to keep like the great matches that they're kicking out are like they're going to be like probably 6 of them from this one weekend. So can't wait to watch them.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. So that's the end of the show. Be sure to rate us on whatever you're watching or whatever you're using to listen to this. Check out ProWrestlingTees.com/Social Suplex to pick up some official Social Suplex podcast merchandise. Be sure to check out the rest of the shows of the network. On Sundays, we normally have this show, One Nation Radio. Tuesdays, we have Keepin It Strong Style. On Wednesdays, we have the Ricky and Clive Wrestling Show. Every other Wednesday, we have Groman Watches Shit. On Fridays, we have the new show, 8-Bit Suplex. And on Saturdays, we have All Things Elite.
If you want to hear like a chiptune video game beat I made, that's their theme music, so you should check that out.
Just for that, not for the podcast?
Yeah, just turn it off after. I don't think Josh will really care, you know, or Sandy, you know, just for the music, you know, immediately just cut it off. But, everybody request your ballots, now. I requested mine today. So,
oh yeah,
definitely do that. Don't forget, the first 5 people who purchase something from Manscaped and use our code, suplex, and email us proof of purchase to socialsuplex@gmail.com. You guys will get AEW All Out's pay-per-view ordered for you courtesy of the Social Suplex Podcast Network. So you can't beat that.
Yeah. So thanks for listening, y'all. Later.
We up out of here. Programming note. Am I still going?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so next week is very loaded, I believe. So, like, AEW's on Saturday, there's TakeOver, there's SummerSlam, so I don't know if it's going to be Sunday, but chances are it'll probably be maybe Monday. I don't know. Maybe we had to split these up or something, but...
Monday. There's no way in fuck we're doing this on Sunday. I'm not doing a reaction podcast for SummerSlam. Like, I was talking to you about this, a few of y'all. I was like, all right, Stardom on Saturday, Stardom on Sunday, Dynamite, TakeOver, the Rev Pro show, and then Josh threw in the Friday, the final of, on Strong of the USA Cup, right? Yeah. I didn't count it, but it's like, SummerSlam could be the 7th best show of SummerSlam weekend. Like, I'm not finna rush to get up an instant reaction podcast for that shit. I'm good. We can wait on Monday. And it's like, I hope I'm wrong. I hope it's the best fucking show. Like, I feel terrible that it's like, that this is how I feel about WWE wrestling, but like, that's their shows. That's what their wrestlers do. That's what their wrestling is now. Right.
I mean, we've moved on, you know, we've evolved.
I still watch them.
Did you catch any of the indie stuff that they uploaded? I have not yet.
I have not, no. But like, you know, I get suckered into watching Raw or like almost every other week, just desperate that like they could turn this shit around. I know they're not going to turn it around, but I would like for them to turn around. Like you always talk about, it's like they're like that relative that like you keep giving chances, but like all that's going to happen is they're going to be strung out again on crack.
Yeah. Ultimately, they will use the crack again.
I just hope for the best. I really do. Like, I miss, like, most of my favorite wrestlers are still in that company, still on the main roster. I would like to see them again and doing good stuff. And just not, because they have that going on for them. A dark cloud, a broken system.
I miss Ricochet. Oh well. We've got New Japan World.
Oh, man. Well, later.
Peace.